Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Wissman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another crazy edition of Crime and Sports, episode 303. We're stacking them up like crazy now, and this is one of the most requested ones we've had. So here we go.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. This is a big one, mainly internationally. This has been the most internationally requested, and really even Americans too. This has been just really requested. We'll get into it quickly. Before we do that, at the start here, I just want to say thank you for everything you've done. Your reviews are wonderful. So whatever platform app you're listening on, please give us 5 stars. It does help a lot. Helps drive us up the charts. We wish we knew why, but we don't. Not our system. So head over to shutupandgivememurder.com today. Get all of your merchandise, tons of new shirts. We have the Shut Up and Give Me Murder coloring book there, the Small Town Murder coloring book. We have tickets to live shows. Still a Crime and Sports live show with some tickets left in Sacramento in August at Ace of Spades. That's what it's called.
Right.
Jesus Christ. So there we go. Get your tickets to that. Have fun there. And also Patreon. My goodness, are we cooking this week?
Fantastic.
Patreon.com/Crime and Sports is where you get all the bonus stuff. And this week, no different. Good God, do we have a lot of good stuff for you. Anybody $5 or above, you get access to everything. That's Crime and Sports bonus, Small Town Murder bonus. Anything we put out bonus, you are going to get it.
Oh.
This week we have, for Crime and Sports, we have an amazing story of this guy named L.W. Wright, said that's what his name was, showed up at a NASCAR race in like the late 70s, faked credentials, wasn't a race car driver, got in the race, crashed like 5 times, kept going, and then just disappeared for 40 years, and no one ever knew who he was or what the hell happened. And then like a month ago, he came out and went, all right, I'll tell you the story. Here's what happened. And it's amazing. So we'll tell you all. We love a scammer and a schemer and a fraud here, so that's going to be great. Then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about a bunch of times throughout history, especially in the 80s, but it persisted through the 90s and even
pretty prevalent,
through today, like a variety radio station. We have pop culture has been blamed for murder, whereas whether it's a video game caused somebody to do it, or they heard a song that they just couldn't not murder after they heard things like that. We're going to find out when pop culture's been blamed for shit that obviously it didn't have any responsibility for. So we'll talk about all of that and more. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. And in addition to that, of course, you'll get your shout out at the end of the show, where Jimmy's going to mispronounce your name because he can't read well. So it'll be a lot of fun. Well, not read. He can't read names well. Anyway.
I can't read well either.
I was trying to give you some credit here, Jimmy. I was trying to say,
I will not.
It's just names.
I will not accept it.
Well, it's difficult this week, too, because you'd mess this guy's name up. Let's get into it. Like I said, one of the most requested we've ever had, Diego Maradona. So,
all right,
let's get it on. Diego Armando Maradona Jr., as a matter of fact.
Oh, he's a junior right out of the gate.
Of course he's a junior. This is a little streak. Ray McDonald last week, also a junior. So we're cooking with juniors over here.
Yeah.
He's born October 30th, 1960, Maradona. And now, first of all, to the international listeners, as we say that, but people outside of the United States, they know who this guy is. They know all of his exploits, what he's about. Right. People in the United States have I know it's hard to understand that the rest of the 5 billion, 6 billion people in the world really know somebody, and we're like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But it's actually true here. I can't express this enough to you. People here don't know
anything.
No.
They've never heard of him. Never once.
No, we still go, Pele played soccer, right? Like,
Yeah.
we don't know shit about soccer.
I literally know 7 soccer players.
Yeah. People in the United States know like a few players from the Olympic women's team. That's who we know.
Yeah.
We don't know. That's all we know. We don't know anything
Right.
else. So this guy, though, internationally is so famous. This guy is like, it's like Michael Jordan divided by Mike Tyson would be the best way to put it. Like the most talent and also the biggest fuck up you could imagine. Like, you know,
Really?
Wayne Gretzky and J.R. Ryder. If you put them in a blender, you'd get this guy. I swear to God, you'd get him.
Terrific.
It's a really bad combination. So let's get into it here. Here's something from the Houston Chronicle that they wrote about Maradona, just to give you an idea of who he is, because there's Americans.
Houston gave a shit.
Yeah, this guy was trying to put it in perspective for American readers how big he is, and I think this is the best way you can put it for the Americans to listen. To understand the gargantuan shadow Maradona casts over his football-mad homeland, one has to conjure up the athleticism of Michael Jordan, the power of Babe Ruth, and the human fallibility of Mike Tyson. Lump them together in a single barrel-chested man with shaggy black hair, and you have El Diego, idol to millions who call him D10S, a mashup of his playing number and the Spanish word for God. Dios.
What?
D10S. Dios. Get it? God of soccer.
They call him God.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You can't explain how insanely huge this guy is. He's that big there. And that big just in soccer. We'll talk about it when he goes to Italy. It's like it's fucking crazy. Like they have a giant, they fill a stadium full of people, not even to watch him play, just to introduce him. It's crazy. So we'll talk about it.
He didn't create that. Somebody else did. That's the fucking unbelievable part about it. Somebody else connected the Dios part.
Oh, this isn't Floyd Mayweather like doing shit on. So this is a guy who they just deified because he was amazing, just incredible, and came through in the clutch, and also is one of the most, like, imagine if, like, you know, literally Michael Jordan retired from basketball, you know, because he had some problems, and we'll say like the gambling scandals were bigger than they were and shit like that, and then just went off into just a path of debauchery and coke and, you know, just women and just, I mean, he's into the women and all that and was for a long time. But I mean, without the coke and all this shit and getting arrested, it's just insane. So he was born here. First of all, there was 4 sisters before him.
Okay.
He's the first son, the 5th child.
Oh, that's why you got the junior
So
tag.
he got the junior, and then he's got 2 brothers after him. So they had 4 girls.
7
then
fucking kids.
4 girls, then 3 boys.
Unreal.
And not wealthy people. Let's just say that they had they came from the countryside to from the Corrientes province into near Buenos Aires, Argentina, the outskirts here, via Fiorito. They moved to just looking for work. They were countryside people that came. There's no money. There's no food.
Yeah.
So they came where people were to work, and started this family, and father was a factory worker and everything like that. His mother, Dalma, everybody calls her Dona Tota for some reason. I don't know. She said that when her son was baptized.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to tell you why she's so grandiose here. When her son was baptized, she saw a star reflected on the floor of the church.
Oh, stop this.
And imagined the bright future that it was calling for her son as an accountant. That's what she said.
Chosen. Yeah.
That's
he
what she
was
said.
Chosen to be the best accountant on the planet.
She said he's going to be an accountant sitting in an office doing work, and it's good. That's the from the heavens. They're going to shine down to say,
it has been written.
This boy shall find tax loops for rich people. That's what he shall do.
All hail the majestic begotten child CPA.
I bequeath upon thee an adding machine. There. And an extra receipt roll. There you are. Now you're on your own.
Unbelievable. As an accountant.
Is fucking amazing. His mother, though, is actually Italian. So,
okay.
Argentina, by the way, South America, tons of Italian people in South America.
Yeah.
Tons, yeah. During Mussolini and World War II, when the Nazis were occupying for a long time, Italian people left in droves. And there were certain times when they weren't, let's just say America said, all full on the guineas, thanks. No thanks anymore, you guys.
Got enough.
Where you had to have, like, family here to get here. Like, my great-grandfather officially, he had gone back and forth, but he officially came here in 1930. Okay? Didn't get the rest of his family. This is Italian grandma and her brother, sisters, and mother. Didn't get them here till 1947.
17
It took 17 years to get his family here, dude. Think about that. 17 fucking years.
And he waited. What is this?
He went back.
Italian Notebook?
He had to go back and forth. He went on the ship. He would knock her up and fucking have another kid, and they name it after the ship that he came over on. I swear to God. That's why my grandmother's name was Loida, because it was like the ship's name was the Lloyd something, so they named her Loida. I shit you not. And then he'd go back here, and he had to finally, because you have to have a certain amount of money, a certain amount of all this shit to be able to get people over here. And then he finally brought everybody here. And my grandmother's brother, when they got to Ellis Island there, he was
Carpathia.
he was sick. They sent him back.
Oh, is that right? Oh, yeah.
They said he was like 10. They sent him back. So they were like, bye. And he never came. He always lived in Italy forever. I met him in like the 80s. He came over here.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried. I got there. They sent me back. I said, I'm not doing it again.
That's it. He was, then it was a whole other thing to get him over
here.
It's
a long fucking trip.
Well, it was a big deal to be able to get him over here was the problem. So, yeah, it was a hard deal. So in South America, I want to say, is it Venezuela, I believe? I think it's Venezuela that has the second most Italian people outside of Italy in the whole world. So
it makes sense too, because the language is an easy gap to bridge, and you can just get through life pretty simply. I mean, you just got to know where shit is.
Back in the 40s and 50s, like when they said Latin, that meant South America, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese. That's what Latin was. That's what that was. That encompassed, and then at some point in the 60s, 70s, they just dropped off anybody. Well, if you're European, you're not Latin now. So it was one of those things. But it was from the Latin language bases. That's what the whole point was. Anyway.
Meanwhile, like Greek and Roman spoke that shit, didn't they?
What? Spanish?
Latin.
Yeah.
Latin.
Yeah, Latin. That's what I mean. That's why it was there. That whole anything south of a certain area that were that were break-offs of the Latin language were considered Latin. And then for some reason they started to get picky about it.
Yeah, anything in that Riviera.
Riviera?
The Riviera.
Anywhere in that Riviera, right.
That's what I was saying.
In this Riviera.
My brain
Let me show you
my brain refused to say Riviera.
It was
like in the Riviera.
The Riviera. That's fucking hilarious.
Ah, Christ.
So he's going to have a bright future as an accountant. Absolutely here.
Add it up, sir.
Oh, he's going to do it from the southern outskirts of Buenos Aires here. He's got younger brothers, Hugo and Raul, both of whom were also professional football players. So, yeah, it runs in the family. And Argentina, I mean, that's the national game. So you get a soccer ball. Everybody wants to be a soccer player. His dad worked in a chemicals factory, which I'm sure a chemicals factory in Argentina in the 50s was probably really safe, and you didn't get any harmful effects from those chemicals at all to your body, I'm sure, right?
You know, America, I think all our OSHA rules, we just adopted Argentina's
from the 50s
safety protocol
from chemical plants in the 50s. Yeah, but he lived to be 88, so he didn't do too bad. Yeah, not too shabby somehow. He must have been a tough son of a bitch. So he was of indigenous and Spanish descent. He was part Basque and part Guarani, so descent there, and his mother was Italian. So he's very. He's got a lot of different things in him.
Very olive-skinned.
Yeah, he's got Spanish, Italian, and indigenous Argentinian. So he basically got a soccer ball before he was 3 and was obsessed with it, slept with it. That was his jam. That's all he cared about. He By 1973 here, he's playing in like juniors and all this shit, but we'll get to that in a second here. His youth coach said of him, quote, "When Diego came to Argentinos Juniors for trials, I was really struck by his talent and couldn't believe he was only 8 years old." Imagine having a talent for something at 8.
He's horny for that kid.
Wow. He said, "In fact, we asked him for his ID card so we could check it, but he told us he didn't have it on him. We were sure he was having us on because although he had the physique of a child, he played like an adult. When we discovered he'd been telling us the truth, we decided to devote ourselves purely to him."
Wow.
He's a prodigy. That's the thing. Like, from a young age, the documentary that's made about him is the third in a series of child prodigies that the guy's making. One's about Amy Winehouse, one's about somebody else, a race car driver. So this guy's considered like, he's like fucking Mozart or something. Like, he's a soccer prodigy. He's 10 times better than all the other kids.
Didn't believe he was 8, and then we asked for his ID. And wouldn't you know it, an 8-year-old didn't have an ID.
8-year-old with his ID. Hold on, let me get my driver's license quick. I got it suspended for a Dewey, but I keep it on me just in case, somebody needs to see how old I am. You know what I mean?
I guess it's a good way to catch somebody in a lie. You're 8, show me your ID. Oh, look, I'll prove it. Wait, what? Why would you have an ID if you're 8?
Why do you have an identification? What's going on? That's fucking great. Let me give you my Army draft papers. Here you go. So they were a close family, very poor, though. Yeah. Chemical factory, 7 kids. Not exactly, not exactly.
It's a tough start.
It's a tough start. So he was first spotted by a scout at age 8. That's when they found him and wanted his ID. And he got on the Los Cebollitas team, the Little Onions. Is their team.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, the Little Onions.
Gross.
The junior team of little stinky kids. That's all I picture.
Little smelly bastards.
Well, after soccer, too, everybody would be stinky because you run a lot.
Yeah.
You ever smell the hockey team afterwards? It's the grossest thing you'll ever smell in your life.
I got a son who doesn't do shit, and he always stinks.
Yeah, it just happens. As a 12-year-old ball boy, he would show off to the spectators by doing ball tricks at halftime in the adult games. He'd do crazy,
like the ball around,
kicking balls routines that the whole crowd would watch. That was the halftime show. Here's this little kid kicking a ball around, and he was good. So, 10, he joined the Los Cebollitas team. That's the youth team of Argentinian juniors, and one of the biggest teams in Argentina.
Sure.
And they said that he was so good, he led them to a 136-game winning streak, or unbeaten streak.
What?
Not winning. There's some ties, I guess, in soccer. 136-game unbeaten streak.
Unbeaten.
While he was on the team.
Incredible. Yeah.
Dominating. He will end up making his professional debut for the senior team before his 16th birthday. Awesome. Just a fucking prodigy. He, so at age 10, he was signed up by the Argentinian junior football team, which he took to the first division during his first full season in 76. At 16, they called him Fiorito. He's from Villa Fiorito, so that's probably another reason, but which means in bloom. So
he's a little onion in bloom.
He's a little bloomin' onion. There he is. It's going to be delicious.
Sponsored by Outback.
Yeah, dip him in that weird fucking sauce that I don't know what the hell it is.
Chipotle mayo ranch.
I don't know what it is. It's got red shit in it, paprika or something. It's fucking tasty. You dip shit in it. He's very
Chipotle
happy.
mayo horseradish.
That's it. That's what he uses for hair gel. Gross. So October 20th, 1976, he plays his first match in the Argentine with the juniors here against, Jesus Christ, Talleres de Cordoba, 10 days before his 16th birthday. So he comes in and he wore number 16 was his number then.
Sick.
So not bad. Yeah, he's like, I'm 16. I'll be number 16. They said that, we'll talk about, they keep immediately compare him to Pele, because at the time Pele is the biggest guy in the world. So that's immediately what it is. Is he going to be as good as Pele? One guy said, this is a sports writer, quote, "What happened to Maradona could not have happened to Pele. It's a symptom of the absurdity of the money that has come into the game, turning its players into pop stars."
Okay.
That's the other thing.
They blame cash?
This is the first. This would be like the difference between, Willie Mays and Barry Bonds, you would say. Like, oh, well.
I guess that's blaming free agency and money.
It's money. It's saying that they're turn them into these crazy rock stars rather than. Yeah. They always say that about the NFL because they say, but I mean, the guys, if there's billions of dollars being made, they deserve the cut of the billions of dollars. Right. But they say, like, back in the day, the guys in the NFL used to live in blue collar neighborhoods at normal, like 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses next door to guys who came to the games. You know what I mean? So it was a much different thing. Whereas now it's totally different. They're stars now.
Yeah, you don't live anywhere near Troy Aikman.
No, that's what I mean. You can't get near
Barry
his
Bonds
gate.
lives. Yeah,
his electrified fence is nowhere near your house. Trust me, or mine, or Jimmy's, or anybody else's.
Right.
So it's a different level of shit here. So it makes sense, though. He said Maradona was offered $600,000 by Coca-Cola when he was only 16. That's $600,000 in 1976 money.
Yeah.
Which today is $3,031,676.63.
It is 5 times more money now than in the 70s?
In 1976, yeah.
Wow.
76, yeah. We had 81 was our biggest year of inflation through that time. So it was building up to that point, inflating since like 73. 72 is when it started, and then it went into like the early 80s. $600,000 though. So that's a shitload of money when you're 16. Yeah. And
He's dancing.
The guy said, and it never stopped. Stopped. Here, he was offered as much as he wanted. He just named a figure, and of course, he always said yes. It brought out his weakness and his loneliness. It caused his fall. So we'll talk about that.
They want to blame money, huh?
They want to blame too fast, too soon type of thing, which to go from nothing to being extremely wealthy at 16 is a lot.
Yeah.
You got to have your head on really straight to not lose your mind at that. Think about how much ego would you have if someone gave you $3 million for anything when you were 16 because of something you did? Like, you'd be out of control.
I'd be broke because my parents would have stolen it from me. But that's the other point, too. Is like he's not in control of his money, right?
He is. This isn't the United States. This is fucking Argentina. He's 16. He's a pro. He's out there. This is his money.
Unbelievable.
So, he would have been. I'd be a disaster at that age. Oh, my God. I had no money and I was a disaster at that age. Imagine if I was rich. I could have financed all my fucking bullshit that I wanted to do. Holy crap.
Forget financing. I'd pay for it all in cash and then be broke.
That's the other problem, too. Yeah.
Because I'm of the mindset of being scared to death of owing anything to anybody because I'm always afraid that they're going to take it from me.
Okay. Yeah, well, that makes sense.
I'm horrified.
Well, if you owe it, then eventually you're going to have to give it, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm afraid they're going to take back whatever I've financed. I'm just scared to death of that. I've seen zero evidence of this ever happening unless you don't pay for it.
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
And I have all the intention in the world of paying for it.
Yeah. But sign a contract with them, and part of that is I'll pay you this and you let me keep that. They're not just going to be like, we don't like you anymore. We're taking this back.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Wow. Is that how far the self-loathing goes, to the point where you think a finance company's computer understands that you're a douchebag and they're going to fucking take your car back because of it? Talk about
scared to
with
death.
Your therapist. That's the next subject. Be like, this is how deep it goes. It's like a tooth. It looks like it's just on the gums, but that root is to your asshole. You understand me?
I am scared to death that I will lose everything, and I've paid a bunch of money into it, and now I don't get to have it.
That is hilarious. That is a very, very...
I've seen nobody in my life, in my personal, like, close to me. It's never affected me. All bills have always been paid.
Wow.
But I see famous people lose shit, and I'm just like, not going to be me. I'll buy cheap shit that they can't take from me.
Not me. I'll be miserable till I die. Then they can then someone else can take it. Yeah.
Let it be somebody else's problem.
Yes, that's how my racist nan lived, like that. She did nothing, just fucking cheap as shit. I'm going to die with everything. Okay, great.
But I don't have anything.
No. But whatever you have, you're going to die with clutching.
All of it.
Clutching. Your white-knuckled corpse will be fucking clutching.
Get away from me, Bank of America. You can't have it.
That's hilarious. We all have that a little bit. So at 16, though, that would just be like, oh, and I'm the greatest. I'll be, and everyone's telling you like you're the anointed thing,
right?
You know. So in 77, May 27, 77, he plays his first match with Argentina's national team against Hungary. Okay. He's not on the 1978 World Cup team. He's left off the team, which pisses a lot of people off because they think he could do it. But the coach, Cesar Menotti, said that he didn't include him on the list because he said that he was too young to handle the pressures. Thought he was a little too young for it. Just, you know.
He's got $600,000, $3 million in my money, but he can't play.
Yeah, he doesn't have the intestinal fortitude to get through the World Cup. Apparently, in 1978, though, he is the top goal scorer of the league he's in here. So
wow,
he's apparently really good. But they're like, you know what, just too young, which is a dumb thing. In 1979, he's the top goal scorer of the league he's in here. He's the top goal scorer of the national team as well. He is the world champion with Argentina in the Youth World Cup. They win that in 79. He wins the Olimpia de Oro, which is the best Argentine football player of the year. Okay. He is chosen by FIFA, the international organization there.
Yeah, the big body.
As the best player of the year in South America. And he receives, I don't know who he receives this from. I don't know. Maybe it came like the star from the church ceiling. I'm not sure. Yeah. Receives the, quote, gold ball as the best player of the moment.
For how long is a moment?
Who gives out the gold ball, man? That's what I want to know. Shadowy figure?
Do they gold
Inspector
his
Gadget
balls?
villain?
Is that what they do?
I don't know if it's a gold.
It's for a moment? How long is the moment?
Of the moment. That's not a year. That's not a... Know what it might be? Whenever they start making the ball, by the time they get to like engraving it with a name, who's the guy right now? Right now! And you tell him, like, all right, engrave it. By the time he gets it could be over. But
by the time we finish his name, we're starting a new ball.
It could be over, but he's getting this ball. He's the player of that moment that we've chosen as the moment of engraving. That's what it is. The gold ball. That is hilarious. I want to know the shadowy figure who fucking doles the gold ball. So 1980, he is the top goal scorer of the league and the national team as well. And again, chosen by FIFA as the best player of the year in South America.
Awesome.
From 76 to 80 in the Argentino junior team, in 166 matches, he scored 116 goals. That's a
That's unbelievable.
Load of that's an amazing fucking ratio. That's incredible.
Wow.
He skulls gores. He
skulls gores. He skulls the gores, right?
Skulls the gores. That's so many goals in 166 matches. That's ridiculously high.
Wow.
That's what I mean. That's like Gretzky kind of numbers, soccer wise. It's crazy. So
how do we not know who this guy is? You know what I mean? How does that excitement not get into American culture?
What do you mean? When you were a kid watching Monday Night Soccer on ABC, this never came up. That's why.
Yeah, I guess because they didn't have Hank Williams singing the singing the fucking anthem for Sunday night or Monday Night Soccer.
Monday Night Soccer. Are you ready for some football? It's a bunch of little Spanish guys. They're kicking balls and running all around. I don't understand the shit they're doing. Oh, the score is 1-0. Maybe it'll be a tie. Oh, my rowdy friends are sleeping on Monday night. That's what it would have been in America. That's what.
The score's 1-0. It might be a tie. Yeah, that tie is a motherfucker. Maybe that's all it is.
Well, I mean,
if they guaranteed a victor, maybe we'd watch.
It didn't work for hockey. Hockey's at its lowest watching point in history, and they have a winner.
But their finish is fucking dumb.
It's stupid. We play a whole game, and then let's just scrap that at the end and have a whole different game. It's a whole different game.
Why don't you just play a whole fucking game of slap shots at each other? Yeah. And maybe we'll watch that. It's just dumb.
Weird ninth grade
If you come up with a good
exercise.
solution, if it's something that's exciting, we'll watch. If it's competitive.
I think the field is too big. This is what I'm okay.
It really is big.
And I'm just saying for the American audience of what our eye is used to seeing, we're used to seeing burst sports. Basketball, fast break, burst, boom. Baseball is slow, but it's base to base is fast.
Yeah.
Home run is fast. You know what I mean? Pitch is fast. Football, a lot of waiting. But once the play happens, it's an explosion of chaos.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Soccer, at its best, is happening at a lava pace. You know what I mean? The guys are moving fast in context, but on that giant field, it's like a NASCAR race. It doesn't look like they're driving 200 miles an hour. Because they're all driving 200 miles an hour.
Some of those kicks, that ball goes 50 fucking yards, 80 yards, but it looks like it goes 20 feet.
Okay, I have an idea to fix this. It's my same idea for NASCAR, but for soccer. In NASCAR, I want one regular, lady driving to work in the morning in the mix, so you could see how fast everybody's going. Every once in a while, cut to her car as they go by her, and she goes, "Oh God, oh Jesus Christ, holy shit, Jesus!"
In a little Corolla, doing 65 around the track,
all the way in the right lane, going, "Holy shit!" Gee, every time they pass, that's what I want here. Put one middle-aged fat man in the middle of the field, trying to keep up with the ball, falling over, holding his pants up and shit. One on each team, and we would really see how quick this game is moving and how amazing these athletes are.
Or shrink the fucking field because it's so big.
Yeah, that's the other thing. And they have indoor soccer here, which is a little more, I think that's pretty popular because of that, and it makes it a little more fast-paced.
It certainly is a lot of fun, but then you mix the hockey angle in and people are getting boarded, and that is not easy to take, man. That fucking hurts. I'm not wearing hockey pads.
That's
you just
true.
blast tiny me into a chain link fence and boards. It hurts.
And on skates, you can achieve a speed quickly that's faster than you can running, so that's the other thing. And there's the matter of a hockey puck being hit over 120 miles an hour at people, which is also pretty frightening.
That's mad dense.
Yeah.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories, 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
So soccer, that's the thing. What they're doing is amazing. I can't do it. The stamina it takes is incredible, and the skill it takes,
what it is.
and the speed it takes.
So much running.
That's what it is. But it's hard to appreciate that when they're in the middle of the field kicking it. Oh, he took it. Now he passes it over to here. Now he runs 40 feet. That's really hard to watch.
And then he gets the ball stolen, and they go back 40 yards the other way.
And I get that if you grew up with soccer, you would see the play they're setting up and be like, okay, he's going here, just like in basketball. And the Bulls would get in a half-court offense in the 90s in that triangle, and you'd see it setting up, and here's Pippen on the cut. Boom, there's an easy layup. I think that's what they're doing, but if you don't know the game, it doesn't quite register the same way. So it's our fault is what we're saying here. So
we're dumb. Sorry.
We're idiots. What do you want from us? Sorry. So
and soccer's not like basketball or football where you can't just have a stationary camera watch it. The camera fucking has to pivot to watch this whole fucking game.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, it really does. It's
everywhere.
It's all over the place, and it's a big field, and the guys look little on the big field, even though they're huge. On a basketball court, you can see how big the guys are because they're also the fans are right on the side of the court, so you can see how much bigger they are than them. Football, there's pads. They look huge. They look like giant gladiators. These guys are in shorts running around, on the grass. So it doesn't give you the same understanding of how impressive it is of what they're doing, is what we're saying here.
And if you zoom out to see the whole field, you can't even see the players.
Oh, no.
Let alone the ball.
No, it's just all little specks running around, little specks of dust people. Just, I see a little person. Oh, there's a little, there's a little red jersey running. There he goes. And it just looks like a little,
It's a fascinating sport, though. It really is.
It is. I want to. Soccer highlights are amazing.
Yeah,
it's like hockey highlights. If you condense that 7-hour game into fucking 3 minutes, it's incredible, and I really want to see what happened. But
it's lightning. Yeah,
it's lightning. But man, that's a big bottle. It's a big old fucking bottle. It's hard for me to really shake it up and take a swig.
They're the small clips that Brad Pitt put of porn in movies, in Fight
frames.
Club. That's what it is. Yeah,
the one frame.
It's so fast.
It's fast.
Quick.
So, the '82 World Cup, Argentina was beaten 1-0 by Belgium. Apparently Maradona had a free kick and hit the goals bar.
Oh, damn
And they really trashed him for that. Pretty good. They made fun of him.
For missing 8 inches.
He missed 3 inches down would have been amazing, and he's a hero, and we're having a parade. But, hey, Scott Norwood, ask him what that's like.
Yeah.
2 feet wide right, you're the biggest piece of shit in the history of your sport. 2 feet over, biggest hero ever. Most clutch. He'd have played till he was 60 if he wanted to. He's clutch.
Yeah.
The guy's clutch. I mean,
or the opposite side, Justin Tuck just broke the field goal record by literally fucking 2 inches. If he's got 2 inches less of power on that ball, it doesn't hit the crossbar and go in. But because he did, and it goes in, and now he's in the record books.
That's how it works, man. That's life. Life is a fucking game of inches and everything. It is. I mean, shit. How many times have you heard? I've heard this a million times. Like back in the day, there'd be the Just for Laughs festival in Montreal where people would be found comics, and some producer walked out of the room, missed this guy's entire set because he had to go take a shit because they ate some weird lunch or something. Next guy up was this guy who the guy wasn't even there to see, and he had a big show and he made $10 million, and this guy was working cruise ships still. The guy who, shit
Forever.
guy.
Yeah.
So that's happened all the time. It's a game of inches. It has nothing to do with shit a lot of times. So later on in the tournament, Argentina went to face Italy, and I guess they were really beating the shit out of him through this whole tournament. They were really beating Maradona up. He's only 5'5", by the way.
Yeah.
He's a little tiny guy. So
and was he 17?
At this point he's 22, but
okay.
He's still a little guy, and bigger teams beat the shit out of him. And one of the players that would beat him up all the time said to the reporters, quote, "Football is not for ballerinas." So
that's true. Yeah.
So I think that's where Jim Ross got his wrestling. It's not ballet, guys get hurt. That's what he always says. So I think that's where he got it from. He stole it from this guy. So Maradona had been fouled 23 times, and over the course of this tournament, they fouled him a lot here. So anyway, in '82, he became one of the biggest sports stars going. He had all these endorsements by then. Puma sponsors him. He's still got a huge Coke deal.
Yeah.
In more ways than one, as we'll get into.
Oh,
Coca-Cola for now. He was earning about $1.5 million a year on top of his salary, which was also very big.
Oh, boy.
In 1982 money, $1.5 million. So there was
like $12 billion today.
$12 gajillion. There was I don't think there was an NFL player making $1.5 million in
'82.
In '82, I really don't.
Yeah.
And that's a
right.
fact. So that says a lot here. He was featured in a World Cup commercial for Coca-Cola. He did a Japanese commercial for Puma. I mean, he's doing a commercial in Japan. That's how well known he is
awesome.
in the world. Late 1982, here. He's got all sorts of shit going on. He really starts to party a lot. Okay. This really comes out a lot here. He's partying. He's fucking doing all sorts of crazy shit. He's
having a good time.
He's embracing his international superstar, is what he's doing.
Hell yeah.
Here. He's having a good time with it. He's an adult, and we're talking international. He's going to every continent there is, partying it up with the most famous people because all the stars want to meet him. When he goes to a country, their biggest stars want to hang out with him and shit like that. Awesome. So he's making all sorts of friends. So this is when he was playing for Barcelona here. In 82-83 for Barcelona, in 58 matches, he has 38 goals.
Unreal.
Really, really, really good. In 83, they win the Copa del Rey with Barcelona, which is a giant...
It's a big deal.
It's a big Spanish tournament thing. I looked it up. It is a big deal over there. They go crazy for that shit. So it was a big deal. I had never heard of it before. Like, I should at least...
It doesn't cross my lips.
I should at least Google this and know what the fuck this is. I guess all the different Madrid, these different teams, they've won the most of them, and I believe, and it goes down from there.
Real Madrid?
Yeah. So the new coach of this team, a new coach comes in to Argentina, and his name is Luis Minetti, and they call him El Flaco, the slim one. So... He had to move the training sessions for the team to the afternoons and evenings. Okay. Well, to the press, he cited the players' quote biorhythms. This is in 83.
They sleeping late?
Well, it's actually Maradona parties till 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So,
of course.
Basically, if we want Maradona to come to practice, which we do because he's our best player, we have to hold them in the afternoon and evenings. Otherwise, he's not going to show up. And that's that.
He wants to work second shift on practice so that he can party all night.
What do we need to come in early for? What are we talking about here? What's the difference? We need 2.
Coffee? No, stop it.
We'll ease ourselves in. We'll get there about 2. We'll start kicking the ball around gently about 2:45.
I'll head your way around 1. Whenever I get there, I get there.
It's one of those things.
That's funny.
He's fucking partying his balls off. He then gets in a full-on brawl, including kneeing a downed man in the face and knocking him out cold during a game.
Oh boy.
A melee takes place, a huge brawl in Spain here. Unfortunately, King Juan Carlos I happened to be in the stands, and he saw the whole thing and basically didn't want this guy in Spain anymore. You come at the king, you best not kick, Jimmy. That's the way it works.
Will they deport him?
They just saw basically he was going to be gone from the team. They're from Spain. Okay. They're going to sell him off and be done with him from then on.
You can't knock people out with your knees.
No, he did that, and he was like kicking people. He like flew through the air with like a kung fu kick. It was pretty crazy.
My friend, what you do for a living is kick a ball. You've probably got some really strong legs.
Oh yeah. This is a silly brawl too. I mean, when you see it, it's like it looks like a movie. Like, oh, let's have a funny brawl in a soccer game where a guy tries to kung fu and kick another guy through the fucking air. It's really silly.
Bicycle kicking everybody.
It's like basketball on a soccer field. It's a real mess. So that was it. You can't do that with the king in the stands. He notices.
The king will have a problem with that.
That's if you're in a king country, you really got to worry about shit like that. So in 1983, he's back in Argentina. He hurts himself here. He's some guy breaks his left ankle and tears a ligament in his ankle too. So
shit,
he's hurt for a while, and also it all comes out in the papers and all the media that the reason why the team practices in the afternoon and evenings is because Maradona goes out all night, drinks, fucks starlets, and does coke off their tits. That's why, literally. So they're like,
awesome.
We can't have this, so it's a big national embarrassment. Not Maradona. They don't blame him. They blame the coach. They blame the team.
They blame the facilitators.
So, the silver-haired fucking middle-aged white men is what they're blaming here of crime and sports lore. And so they end up saying, we're done with you. They sell him.
Oh.
As in soccer, as you know, you can sell people. Yeah. They sell him to Napoli. So they sell him to Italy. They sell him to another continent. That's one thing. If you're in the NFL, they can sell you, but not to another continent. They can't say, we sold you to, North Vietnam. Like,
we sold you across a fucking ocean.
We sold you to Laos, so you're going to go there now. What? We are?
They own you.
So he's going to go to Napoli. He's going to play in Naples, Italy, and June 1984, he shows up. Now, when he shows up, they have 80,000 people in the stands, all paying money to see him.
Yeah.
They literally showed up,
sold out.
Not to watch him play, just to have him come out and wave. The season hasn't even started yet.
It was the unveiling of him.
The unveiling of Maradona drew 80,000 paid spectators to a stadium.
Sold it out.
To watch him wave. Yeah.
Sold it out to say hi.
Hi. Yeah.
Holy shit.
How crazy. That's how insane they were. We got the best player in the world. Oh, my God. They were so happy.
From now on, that's what we do at our live shows.
That's how you do it right there. 80,000, we come out, we wave, and their people are genuinely excited to see it. They're not even disappointed.
You people better be so thrilled.
They're not even disappointed. That's the thing. They didn't leave and go, oh, that's all he's going to do is wave. They were like, I saw him. I saw him in person. They were excited to see him.
I saw him wave.
Jesus, Guineas, fucking stop being so easily impressed.
Yeah.
So, as we'll talk about Napoli, though, Naples is known for... Okay, in the Italian, I don't know how well known this is throughout the world or whatever, but in the Italian community, we'll say, nobody likes Napolitan people. That's the thing, because they don't like anybody else.
Okay.
Napolitan people, they hate fucking Southern Italian people, number one. They hate them. So, they're considered, you could be from anywhere else in the world, well, you're considered above a Southern Italian person. They're
like Sicilians, those ones?
South of me. Or not me, that meaning me, south of them.
Yeah,
Southern
south
Italian,
Naples,
Sicily, Southern Italy, the whole Southern Italy. Anywhere where it's less blonde and, blue-eyed and shit like that. Those are the trash people down there. So Naples is kind of known for that. It's known for being kind of an uppity... back then especially. I don't know about now, but back then it's known for that kind of shit. So that you got to keep that in mind here. He earned in Naples $7 million a year.
Wow.
Starting in 1984.
Holy shit.
No American athletes were making $7 million a year.
$7 million.
None. Not even close were to that. I mean, that's well above and beyond anything you can think of. $7 million a year.
That's a very fuck anybody in my house kind of invitation, really.
Pretty much, yeah. That's
do whatever you want here. Yeah. We don't care.
Mi casa. You know what I mean? Enter at will.
That's what the $7 million is.
$7 million. And that's not it though. That was just for playing. That was his salary. Yeah. Then on top of that, he had sponsorships for Coke and Puma, Hitachi, another $5 million in sponsorships.
Of dildos?
yeah. Only giant dildos. They sell really well in South America. You have no idea. South America, Italy, very ahead of their time there in 84.
He got dildos and Coca-Cola?
Dildos and Coke money. That's pretty wild. And Puma. Diddling himself,
good for him.
Drinking a Coke, wearing some Pumas. So,
what did Hitachi pay him?
It's $5 million. All of his sponsorships were another $5 million a year he was making.
$12 million a year in sponsorship and salary.
In 84, 85, 86. Sick. That's obscene.
He's making more money than Michael J. Fox.
Back then, yeah, absolutely. He's making more money than most people. Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy shit. In 1984, there was a poll from IMG, which was the whatever back then, a worldwide poll. He is named by them. They do this poll every year. They did it back then. The best known person in the world.
In the world.
The best,
Hitler,
the highest.
Jesus, Maradona.
The highest Q rating in in the world in 1984.
Holy hell.
Think about that. That's fucking bonkers.
Americans never heard of you.
He could have walked down the street in any American city and nobody would look twice at him.
No. In New York, they'd have told him to get the fuck out of the way.
No. In America, they'd be like, it's a 5'5", dude speaking Spanish. And they'd be like, do you work here? Are you bringing me food? In the 80s, they wouldn't even have thought, he must work here. He doesn't speak English very well.
Wow.
So, yeah, otherwise, though, that's amazing. The most famous, well-known person in the world. So here comes the 1986 World Cup. Okay, this is the thing he's most well known for in a career of things he's well known for here. So it's in Mexico, and he's obviously playing for Argentina in '86. Right. So it's from June 22nd to 29th. He's in a game against England. Okay, here, and there's a huge crazy play here. Basically, they're down 1-0 to England at this point in the World Cup, and that's a big. It might be a tie. It's a big thing. They're running a play down toward England's goal. Okay, and they're on, I guess, facing the goal. I don't know if it's like basketball. It probably is. They're coming down the right side. They center kind of toward the middle. Ball gets kicked kind of up in the air in kind of like a jump ball situation.
Oh, boy.
Right at the line to where like the goalie box is there.
Got it.
I don't know what that is. Is that the crease? We'll call it the crease,
box?
like hockey. So right as you enter the crease there, he goes up and he gets higher than the English guy next to him. And, I mean, it looks like he heads the ball and it goes in and they score the goal and tie the game. Okay?
Yeah.
So he obviously goes batshit. The crowd goes batshit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most amazing. It's a header goal. It's awesome to tie a game.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Problem is, all the English guys immediately are just holding their arm up, tapping their arm, going, no.
He punched that in. Yeah.
There's a fucking English guy looking like he's going to murder a referee. There's a referee walking backwards with this English guy in his face, holding his arm, going, and is fucking losing his shit like you just said, I'm going to finger the queen. I mean, he went nuts.
How many times did he call him a cunt?
Oh, he lost, like the English are known for their decorum or whatever. Yeah. He lost all sense of that. He went Italian like that and was like, you motherfucker, I'll fucking cut your balls off. I'll shove them in your kids' fucking eye sockets. That's what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to take your kids' eyeballs and I'm going to sew them into your nutsack so you never forget what I fucking did to you. He's doing shit like that. Freaking out, right? So it's known as the Hand of God goal later on. Mm-hmm. I saw the replay 100 times. I mean, it's 1986, so the footage isn't wonderful, but you can see it went off his fucking hand. I mean, he went up to head it, saw he wasn't going to head it, so he kind of went with his head and his fist all at the same time, and he just kind of punched it in to where if the ref was behind him, he might, and they're at a lower angle because he's up, you wouldn't have seen it. You would have just saw his head and the ball fly.
And with that, and he's that level of soccer, you imagine that guy knows what he's doing. There's no way he just punched that, and he flails like that. You go, wow, what a play!
That's the thing, and he's the best player in the world. So you're like, hey, that must have been amazing.
He wouldn't have done that with his hands.
So that ties it 1-1, puts a pall over all the proceedings. I mean, the English people to this day say I can't look at an Argentine jersey, the guys on that team, because I feel cheated still from that.
These guys weren't even there.
No, the guys on that team said I can't even look at that country's jerseys because I feel cheated still, 35 years later. The thing is, though, apparently, it's so funny, he would never admit that he punched it either. He would never admit it. He would never admit it, and despite they would show him the replays, to show the frozen of his hand on the ball, he insisted instead that, quote, the hand of God had guided the ball into the net. That's why it's known as the Hand of God play, because he said the hand of God guided it. Not my fist, the hand of God, otherwise known as my fist.
Yeah.
So
does he mean that God reached down and intervened in this game, or is he, in fact, calling himself God?
I think God came through him.
Yeah.
And so you can't call a foul on God. So
no.
If he's infallible, so obviously if he punched it, that means that God wanted that to happen. So clearly it's a goal. You know what I mean, right? You get it. Okay.
Wow. So it stood.
So it stood, because they didn't reach it. I don't think there was instant replay back then.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
So at the same time during all of this, later on, a few minutes later, with the score tied 1-1, he takes the ball from end to end, cuts through everybody, and scores a fucking goal anyway.
Well,
so
I mean, yeah.
he scores a dominating goal where it's known as one of the best goals in World Cup history. Like literally,
one
of
way
the
or
most-
another, England wasn't winning that game.
Yeah. So at the very least, that game was going to be a fucking 1-1 at that point.
Yeah.
So they should have stopped him after that. So that made it less shitty because they were showing that. So it was like, well, you could have stopped him there. So
And sometimes in football games, that's how I feel too. Because when somebody ties up a game and you're like, well, that point shouldn't have counted or whatever, and then they come back down and score again anyway. It's like, I mean, one way or another, that team was not winning today.
Yeah.
They were being dominated.
It's not going well. Now, granted, I don't know what kind of mood that put the English team in.
Sure. Yeah.
Getting a ball punched in the goal on you.
Yeah. Or kind of mood that puts Diego in where he's like, I'm fucking invincible.
The kind of mood where you feel like God is working through your body parts and extremities. I think that's a pretty exalted state there. So
it's a nice place to be.
It ain't bad.
Yeah.
So 1986, they end up beating, I believe, West Germany in the finals, 3-2, and they win the World Cup.
Champions,
and he is
on the hand of God.
From the hand of God has given them the World Cup. Jimmy.
Wow.
The hand of God. He wins his second Olympia de Oro as the best Argentine football player of the year. He is named Distinguished Citizen by the city of Buenos Aires as well.
Yeah.
He's the best citizen and the best soccer player.
He's a cheater.
He's a cheater, but that's fine. Now, this is silly because it should have been Isotoner giving this award out. He receives, I don't know what happened to the golden ball, but it's been set aside by the Golden Shoe. He receives the Golden Shoe from Adidas as the best footballer of the year. He should have gotten a golden glove, though, I believe, for punching the ball in. They should have given him an actual golden glove. There you go. So
that's one way to get Americans involved. Just start giving out American awards to these guys. The award that goes to the third baseman, give that to them.
Just like a silver slugger. We give it to give it to some soccer player from Brazil. Yeah. What? How do you win the Gold Glove at shortstop? I don't understand this. This is ridiculous. How does that happen? How does it happen? I haven't seen him play. So, yeah, he wins the golden shoe. So he's got a golden ball, a golden shoe.
And they call
hand
them
of God,
slippers,
star
too,
from
I
heaven.
think. Don't they?
They call them not
they
boots,
slippers?
but not boots.
Yeah,
but
they are boots. They're
boots.
boots. You're right. They call them boots.
Boots. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it is. So
I wish they called them slippers.
Slippers. The golden slippers. Given out for retired soccer players. Good job taking it easy this year, Chief.
Here's a funny pair.
You got your blood pressure down pretty low. That's good. Good for you. He also, 86, gets the Golden Pen Award.
God damn it. They gold everything.
They just cake it in gold and hand it to you and tell you you're the best. As the best player in Europe. So he's the best player in Europe, the most golden shoes. He can kick his golden shoe with his golden ball and then sign a golden autograph with his golden pen. He's got it all.
He's doing it.
He's got it all, Jimmy. What does that tell you? He's a world champion. They love him. He's the hero of the country.
Yeah.
He could win the fucking whatever prime minister tomorrow.
He can finger everybody. That is grace.
Grace, my friends. Yeah. Absolute grace. It's as grace as
Jesus,
it gets, really.
Hitler, Maradona. That's the order.
That's grace, I would say. When you're Hitler famous, that's grace. You know? I mean, Hitler the worst, obviously, but pretty famous, you know?
Yeah.
It was just in terms of raw fame. It doesn't, you know.
It's the two most known
Manson.
people on the planet are Hitler and Jesus.
Well, probably Jesus isn't as well known in the rest of the world, Jimmy.
In a poll, a worldwide poll, those were the two most famous people.
Most famous. Okay. So then Hitler and Jesus. When was this then?
Hitler and Jesus. Yeah. It was Jesus is first and Hitler is second. That's what the most recognizable people in history.
In history. Okay.
Yeah. Ever.
What about really?
But today, most famous people?
No. I'm not going to get into the historical. Never mind. Okay. Moving on, because we could really start parsing semantics here. So, 1986.
Disqualify people out of the running?
Who knows? So, 1986 here, right? After this is Grace. We'll say it's Grace because he's in Pasadena, California at an all-star soccer game.
Yikes.
And he is caught on camera. You can still find this footage today, snorting cocaine after scoring a penalty.
Oh, what?
So, yeah, he scores, and then he's on the side.
On the bench or just like pulls it out of his pocket?
I guess on the bench, you see him snorting some coke. So,
wow.
Yeah, so that becomes a big fucking controversy, we'll say here.
Yeah.
So a little bit more on his Napoli run here. Mm-hmm. So, like we said, 80,000 people there for his unveiling, ridiculous, all this shit. He became the captain of the team very quickly and was embraced by the fans. They loved him, including the local mafia. They loved him as well. Oh. You know, because he's a famous guy. They like hanging out with famous guys, as you know. Sure. Frank Sinatra's whole crew was a bunch of mobbed up guys, you know.
Yeah.
They like that sort of thing. So, yeah, he would fucking he hung out with them. So he had tons of access to drugs. He had access to women and all the parties. I mean, he was living like a king over there. Awesome. Like a king. He said, quote, "They practically brought me drugs on a tray." That was his time in Napoli that he says here. He said he would party, and we'll give you a kind of a run of his schedule and compare it to another famous drug schedule that we know of from history. He'd party Sunday to Wednesday and then cleanse up until a game on Saturday and then do it all over again. Like Ben Cousins. Remember Ben Cousins doing that?
Yeah, yeah.
He would
That's so busy.
Load up and then, kind of cleanse out his body for a couple of days and then be ready to play.
So busy.
It's a lot to do, man. It's just a lot. Drug testers would never pick him, he said.
Oh,
they never picked him.
Why.
Yeah, isn't that weird? He said that if they ever did, even club officials admitted this later, that, quote, someone would pee for him. So if they did pick him, he didn't have to pee. Okay. So as long as he's winning, he's getting taken care of, as long as he's doing shit.
Keep your pants, Chief.
That's it. He was basically just coked up the entire time he was in Italy. They do win a bunch over there, as we'll talk about, so that's a big deal. He was fined a lot, too. He was fined over $70,000 for missing practices and games. And he would he'd come in all scruffy looking after a coke binge night. He'd get fat and then, lose weight. He'd swell up and slim down and shit like that. So that wasn't helping either.
Yeah.
Physically, he'd look terrible sometimes, but then he'd score 3 goals. And you'd be like, okay, well, I mean...
Well, cocaine does amazing things for stamina.
It's incredible, man. It's incredible if you're 10 times more talented than everybody else, what you can get away with.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly what you can get away with and still be amazing is incredible.
It's also amazing what you're physically capable of doing when you're on drugs and also already better than everybody else.
Yeah, that's it. Well, it's drugs. Okay, let's wrap this up. Recreation, it's a joke to say, oh, you get all coked up and run around, but recreational drugs really don't help you athletically.
Running?
If it was just running, but there's a lot more involved in that in
90%
soccer.
of that game is.
But it's all strategy, too. It's the same thing with basketball. If you were all coked up, you wouldn't have the patience. You wouldn't have there's patience. There's a lot of nuance to soccer that you wouldn't probably be... You could probably be better at it if you had your mind together straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that too. Yeah, whether or not you're physically capable of running doesn't matter if your brain is not firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like if you're like in football, to compare it American football, Lawrence Taylor, you give him a couple of lines of coke because his job is kill that quarterback every fucking play. If he hands it off to someone, chase his ass down and kill him. You can get someone coked up and tell him to do that, but you can't give the quarterback coke. You know what I'm saying? He's got to figure shit out. His timing has to be right. He has to not be paranoid about people running up from behind him, and it's a different game for him. You know what I mean?
His eyes got to be in. His eyes got to be in specific spots for specific reasons at specific times.
Yeah.
And with coke, your eyes are just darting anyway.
Yeah, and your rhythm is totally fucked up, too. You're not going to have the same rhythm. These receivers expect the ball in rhythm. You've worked it out. Throw it to them 1,000 times for that. So in May 10th, 87, he leads Napoli to the first championship in history that they've had. They've been around 60 years and haven't won shit. They've been a laughingstock of the league. And he takes them to being the best in the league. There was a street party that lasted 5 days after that.
5 days of partying for the soccer team.
Italian style. One thing these fucking all of my Guinea ancestors and current relatives can do is party. If there's a reason to party, they're going to party. Imagine how the food that was going around there. Oh, man, it must have been amazing.
By day 5, that's probably why they quit. By day 5, they're like, we're too tired to make any more meatballs. I can't do it.
I can't put it out no more. Oh, Maki Katsu with the sausage and peppers. I know that's an American Italian thing, but still.
I can't roll another noodle. I'm done. It's over.
My fingers from the cavatelli. I can't do it no more. I'm not going to do it no more. I'm out of here.
Eat bread.
I eat the bread, please. One day, give me a break, please. I've done so much cocaine and made so many cavatelli in the last few days. Oh, please.
You guys, there's no more pasta. What? Let's go home. Party's over.
Relax and watch the Monday Night Soccer, please.
It might be a tie, you guys.
It's the Hank Williams Jr. He gets me so pumped up. He gets me going so much. So, hundreds of thousands of people in the streets, too. This is like a team's, parade when they win a championship, except 5 days long. Wow. Imagine that. So, I can't either. That sounds horrible. So he's at all these public functions, private banquets, fans, journalists. He's the most in-demand guy in the whole country. I mean, he is. They love him. But they said that after a while, he stops kind of going out during the day. He said he only goes out during the day to like train in soccer and then comes home. And he said that it was because he felt very suffocated now by everybody.
Sure.
He said, quote, "This is a great city, but I can hardly breathe. I want to be free to walk around. I'm a lad like any other." So,
Oh, you're saying lad?
Lad, that's the translation, so who knows what the fuck the Spanish word for that is. But either way, he's, he feels a little suffocated by all the attention that he's getting in this city. Another one here, he ends up having a paternity suit filed against him here.
Uh-oh.
That'll do it. It's a very small city when people are looking to serve you papers. Christina Sinatra,
what?
No relation. Christina Sinatra, who's a Napolitano woman here, or Napolitan, she filed a paternity writ against him. She said he's the father of her child, Diego Armando Jr. So there's the third.
Junior. Yeah.
So he's yours, sir. That's what she's saying. That'll go on for a little while. So this is not the first time this comes up either. He's got paternity suits. He's out when you're that coked up at parties, drinking, fucking whoever's in your way, you're going to knock somebody up. I mean, that's going to happen. You're going to slip one past the goalie.
If she can take it long enough, because that's the thing about coke.
That's true.
You can't come. It takes forever.
Well, maybe that's why he wins the golden ball, Jimmy. He can come whenever he wants.
He's got gold balls.
That's why God put that star in the church for him. So they win the Italian Series A championship. Napoli does. They win the Italian Cup, the team as well. Yeah. And he's the top goal scorer in the whole league. That's 87, 88. They said that he's driving around like a nice BMW because he's got shitloads of money. So he's got like a sweet jacked up Beamer. And they said it's parked outside of all the big clubs at night. That's where you find him.
Yeah.
Right out front, his car is there. They said he would drink alone. He'd just sit there. He'd take his car out and he'd sit there in the bars and drink alone. He drank whiskey and Coke. Just bang, bang, bang. I don't know if that was because of his sponsorship.
Yeah.
I can't be seen. It's got to have Coke in it. It's just the way it is. They said he would pound. He would drink sometimes, and then he would drink all the time. Sometimes he would dance and get sociable after he's had a few drinks. Sure. And they said when he did, the fucking girls would swarm to him, obviously. Really? Yeah, he's the most famous athlete in the world. I mean, why not? That's 12 million a year.
Yeah.
80,000 people come to see you when you show up. That will get you.
Sounds like 6 foot to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But that's a funny thing about, like, we read the personal ads on the bonus episodes, and you'll have women go 6 foot or above, he must be, and all this stuff. If you add rich and world famous, these things start to decline a little bit. Well, maybe 5'8", and as long as he's a nice guy. I did see him on TV. He was pretty.
Yeah. I mean, Tom Cruise is married.
That's what I'm saying. Multiple times. But of course, he's those are arranged marriages by his weird cult. So that's a different thing.
But
he would still get women.
Been, he'd still get married.
Oh, he'd still get, It's
5'5" and a center tooth. He'll still do fine.
It's fine. That's it. Fucking charisma, money, and fame will do that for you every time. So they'll go. A friend of his said he thought he could own the world. He felt impregnable. I guess not.
Well, the world is impregnable, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, he should hope it is the way he's out there doing his business. So
he wishes it wasn't.
Yeah. Hey,
you can very, very impregnate everything.
Yeah. No, he wishes it was impregnable. That means you can't get in it. Impregnable.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
impregnable would be. Impregnable means there's a wall up, you can't get through it. It's an impregnable fortress.
I don't know what I'm doing. I forgot about that part.
So, because I was confused. I'm like, he hopes he can knock everybody up? Really? Does he want to plan? Everyone shall be named Diego Armando Maradona. All of everyone.
Why does the English language have to be so hard?
I shall repopulate the earth. So, yeah.
I was like, but isn't impregnant? Isn't that the word? No, it's not, you idiot. What are you talking about? Who's ever said I'm impregnant?
Oh, I love it. That's fucking hilarious. So,
all right.
He got involved apparently with the mafia pretty early in his whole team does basically. They had a bunch of merchandise. They were doing Maradona merchandise, so he had a company that did all this merchandising for him.
Shirts and hats and shit, yeah.
When you're a world-famous guy like that. So his manager was contacted by members of the mafia telling him, hey, not a good idea for you to operate in Naples without talking to us first. You don't even give us the respect of sitting down and telling us what your plans are. You can sit down. Maybe we could help you out. We could help each other out. We could work together. And next thing you know, they're in for 10%. That's how that works. So
maybe we already have Maradona merchandise. You didn't ask.
We got some. Yeah. Maybe I take you to it, and maybe you buy it all from me. How's that sound?
Maybe you buy it all, and then you resell it. It's on you.
You can do that. So they said that you should probably discuss this with us first. So in 1986, in January, 2 men arrived. They were emissaries of the Giuliano group here. That's their little family here. And they told Maradona, quote, the Giulianos want to get to know you better. Which in that area, if they want to get to know you, you get to know them. Yeah. Period. That's just the way it is.
What'd you like to know?
That's it. So he becomes, within the next few months, he's their family guest everywhere they go. They invite him, and he's like, because he's a big shot. They like that. Yeah. Baptisms, parties, family events, things like that. He's in the mix of he's just like one of us now. He's in the mix here. Later on, they end up, that year in 86, police end up busting a big heroin operation at the house of 2 women, and they raided the place, and they found Carmine Giuliano, who is the fucking head of the family in this operation. They busted him there. And they found there he had a photo album, and in it was 71 pictures of him posing with Maradona in different places.
71 of them?
71 of them.
Jesus.
That's wild. When asked in court about it, Maradona said, quote, yes, I've met these people, but I have no idea why they do. No idea what they do. Somebody asked me to go to their house, and as often as I often do, I accepted. She's saying, you invite me over for dinner, I show up with a bottle of wine. I mean, that's all there is to it.
What are we going to do? That's rude to say no.
Anywhere he is, if someone goes, come to my house for dinner, he's like, fuck. What time? He has to stop in a crowd of people. What's fine? Jesus Christ, it's Italian law. You can't turn down a dinner invitation. They said they made you cavatelli. It's against the law to turn it down. I'm sorry. It's against the fucking law.
Somebody's fingers hurt. We have to go.
So in 88, his physical conditioning regime was on Sunday, there'd be a Series A match. So, a Major League Italian soccer match. Sunday night to Wednesday was an all day, all night, maybe we don't sleep the whole time cocaine bender. So just like a
Jesus
3 day fucking 4 night absolute binge bender of who knows.
Wow.
Booze, women, coke, fucking parties.
I
whatever
can't imagine.
Whatever he can get into. Usually with a bunch of gangsters, by the way, as well.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday to Saturday morning would be, or Wednesday morning to Saturday would be cleansing. That would be, he would be running and sweating it out. Yeah. It's the old, Rod Beck told me in baseball, the old adage was drink a case, sweat a case, they used to say.
Okay.
If you saw someone in there really on that treadmill for a long time in the morning or the
They were
Stairmaster,
drinking.
you look at it and they go, drink a case, sweat a case, and they'd be hungover as fuck fucking doing it. That's,
the worst.
get the toxins out. So that's what they're trying to do there. And then Sunday, he'd be all ready for his match again.
Wow.
Ready to start the cycle again. Yeah, he would be coked up on at all times here.
Yeah.
He even said later on in an interview, quote, I gave my opponents a big advantage due to my illness. Do you know the player I could have been if I hadn't taken drugs? And that's what I'm talking about. Doing a line before the game might, that might get you going a little bit, but doing constant coke for 3 straight days a week takes a toll on your body, and you're not going to be the same
point
person.
Of it's an illness.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He knew that he was
That's
fucked.
heavy.
He's like fucking. Hearing about his routines reminded me a lot of he's like soccer Hunter S. Thompson is what he is. Have we ever gone over the Hunter Thompson daily routine of drugs?
The amount that he would ingest? No.
All of it. Okay. Well, it's an old thing. It was written years ago, and it's Hunter Thompson's daily drug schedule. And this is his daily schedule, and this reminded me of Maradona a lot. If you put in kick a soccer ball in here,
this is every day.
This is every day. Okay, Hunter Thompson's routine. 3 p.m. he gets up. Okay, wakes up at 3 p.m. 3:05 Chivas Regal with the morning papers and some Dunhills. Chivas. He's already drinking Chivas.
He's already into scotch.
5 minutes after getting up. But it's 3:05, so I mean it's mid-afternoon, and Dunhill cigarettes he smokes. Okay.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
3:45 cocaine.
Okay.
Yeah. 3:50 another glass of Chivas and some Dunhill. 4:05 first cup of coffee. So then we'll get into coffee. But 2 glasses of booze and some Coke before he even gets coffee going.
Oh, God.
Okay, add cigarettes, more cigarettes. 4:15 more cocaine. 4:16 orange juice and a cigarette. 4:30 more cocaine. 4:54 cocaine. This is or somebody that was with him, putting this all down. 5:05 cocaine. 5:11 coffee and some Dunhills cigarettes. 5:30 more ice in the Chivas. It was melting, so get it colder.
Just ice.
5:45 more cocaine. 6 o'clock smoke a joint to take the edge off.
He's done 12 lines of coke, and he's been awake for 2 hours.
2 hours. Yeah, so by the time he's been up for 3 hours, he has to smoke a joint to take the edge off of all the booze and coke that he's been taking here.
God damn it.
That's wild. 7:05 goes to the Woody Creek Tavern for lunch, his lunch, dinner time, which is a Heineken, 2 margaritas, coleslaw, a taco salad, a double order of fried onion rings, carrot cake, ice cream, a bean fritter, and more Dunhills, then another Heineken, and then cocaine as well.
Oh,
that's
sounds
his dinner.
Delicious, minus the cocaine.
Minus the cocaine. For the ride home, he does a snow cone, which is a glass of shredded ice over which he pours a shitload of Chivas. So a Chivas snow cone.
Snow cone.
That's a Chivas snow cone for the ride home.
Booze-flavored chipped ice.
Yep, that's what he's got. Then it says 9 p.m., starts snorting cocaine seriously. Now he's really into it. Before
now
that,
he's doing double lines.
It was just to wake up earlier. Yeah. Now it's to party. Now we're getting into the, getting down on it.
Seriously.
10 p.m., drops acid.
Wow.
11 p.m., cocaine, more weed. 11:30, more cocaine. 12 midnight, that's when he's ready to write. So he's done all this. Now it's time to write. So he writes from 12:05 to about 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. So that's his work day, which that's the hours when I'm most productive.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I do my shit. Not without the cocaine, though,
right.
Minus that. Cocaine, more weed, Chivas, coffee, Heineken, Heineken, more cigarettes. He'll eat like a grapefruit, smoke some more cigarettes, orange juice, gin. It says here, quote, continuous pornographic movies playing while this is going on.
That is a funny thing to do.
6 a.m., hot tub with some champagne and Dove bars and fettuccine Alfredo. That's his dinner that night. 8 a.m., halcyon, 8:20 sleep. That's his day.
He needs halcyon to sleep.
Yeah, well, he's done fucking an 8-ball of coke that day. So yeah, he's really flying probably. But that's a daily thing for him. That was like his daily.
And that man committed suicide. He didn't even.
Yeah, he killed himself in his 60s, Jimmy. I mean, he lived to be in his 60s, and
drugs couldn't do it.
No, he did so much crazy shit in his life. Even the drugs wouldn't have killed him. Other things would, and it didn't somehow. So it's pretty amazing. But that's what he reminds me of. Diego Maradona is like Michael Jordan and Hunter Thompson divided by Mike Tyson, and that's what you get.
Or kicking a soccer ball around.
Michael Jordan plus Mike Tyson divided by Hunter Thompson, as you get fucking Maradona here. So he wins in '89. He wins the UEFA, which I think is the European, whatever the fuck,
United something,
European Federation of Assholes Cup with Napoli. Then might be a tie. Sorry, popped into my head. That's the first ever victory in international competition for Napoli ever. So, very excited. That summer, August to September '89, he spends 2 months in Argentina, and then doesn't make it back before the start of a tournament that's happening.
Too busy. Argentina's probably wild.
It's especially
as famous
for him.
as he is. Oh God!
Remember you say, "Don't go home." I mean, imagine if you're the most famous guy ever.
Don't go home because it'll be tough to leave. Saying goodbye to every person in the country.
Oh shit! He would. He comes back late, and once he comes back, he would like show up for his matches at the last minute. They were thinking he wasn't going to show up, and he would pop up, and then as soon as it was over, he'd leave and go off alone. He wouldn't even that's hardcore coke right there. Hardcore. They said he would not show up at practice all the time. That's why he got fined, all that we talked about earlier. The club even issued a civil suit against him for breach of contract for his fucking not showing up and shit. That's all in his contract.
So they sued him over it.
They sued him, for fines that he's not paying. During training before a match at Pisa, his teammates reported that he stopped playing for a minute and was just crying to himself on the field in the middle of a game.
Oh, that's fun. He's stable.
Whoa, that's not good, man. That's bad, I would say.
Yeah.
But 89, they win the UEFA Cup with Napoli. He's their 1990 Italian Series A champion with Napoli. Tears are not here. He receives the Premio Conex de Brillante for his sports skill.
Yeah, that's the Premium Brilliant Award.
Premium Brilliant. You're the most brilliant, my friend. This is the Golden Cup right here.
Yeah.
Second place in the World Cup, they come in that year, Argentina. So he does pretty well. The president of Argentina names him the ambassador of sport.
Oh.
This is what
for
we
the
have.
whole country.
That's it. And wins the Supercoppa Italiana with Napoli as well.
Yeah, the Super Cup.
Super Cup of Italy with Napoli as well. So really, he's cooking.
Wow.
Even though he's crying on the field, hanging out with gangsters, and living like Hunter Thompson, he's still somehow winning soccer. That's amazing.
Proves there's a chink in the armor, though, and it's going to collapse. It's going to come down.
Well, as soon as Mike Tyson got a little despondent after Robin Givens, he got the shit beat out of him. It's crazy that you're this much better than everybody, that you can be crying on the field and, hung over with fucking, crust on your cock from the night before and go out and win the whole thing. That's impressive.
Have a legit depression breakdown on the field, crying
and then scoring a goal, and then scoring a goal later. It's
sobbing down the field.
It means nothing. Oh God. So means nothing.
The sun will turn into a black hole anyway.
Oh God. July 1990 leads Argentina to the final of the World Cup in Rome, and they lose 1-0 to West Germany. So
ouch.
It's a very close one.
Oh, pre-Berlin Wall coming down?
Yeah, it's West Germany still. It didn't come down till, I think, that year, 90, 91, something like that. So while he's in Napoli from 84 to 91, 259 total matches and everything, and 115 goals in those games. So winning every award, doing everything terrific. Then in 91, it really starts to fall apart. I mean, hard. Starting out with a diagnosis of positive for hepatitis B.
Yikes.
Which, that's not good at all.
No.
That is associated in this area, and with what he's doing, it's associated with drug use a lot of the times.
Intravenous,
The B. So he's got the hep, and if you've watched any of these documentaries of people on drugs, hepatitis is the biggest
my
thing
uncle
they
has
get.
it, and it's
big.
Crazy.
Oh,
it is
terrible.
insane. It liquefies your guts. It destroys all your energy. And he got it
like
through that.
Eggs for you.
Yes, it is. It is his my eggs.
Jesus Christ. Makes him shit on the side of a highway in Pennsylvania.
But he also has zero energy, and he can't do anything. It's really
awful.
it's a debilitating thing, and he did it to himself. So it's
That's
not
fucking
good.
awful,
Yeah.
man. So March 9, people are like, well, it can't be drugs. He's Diego Maradona. He's the best. Why? How would the best athlete be doing drugs? Well, March 1991. Okay. He's. I guess there was there's some problems here. I guess they lost a game or something that they wanted. They should have won, some shit like that. He says that this made him lose his protection from post-match drug tests, because to this point, people were peeing for him, or they would just skip him, or whatever the fuck. But at this point, he said, no, this is why they did this to me. They drug tested me on purpose, and then he tests positive for cocaine on the drug test, obviously. Clearly.
They did this to me.
To me.
He's a victim.
Yes, that's what I mean. They did it to me because they were mad at me, and I'm not. Now I can't do coke every day? Like, what the fuck? Later on, he said, later on, that one quote comes from, "Do you know what kind of player I would have been if I had not used cocaine? What a player we've lost. I have a sour taste in my mouth because I could have been a lot bigger. I assure you of that. I know who I was going to be. What I didn't know was that I was going to take cocaine."
Okay.
So that's his deal here. And it all kind of comes crumbling down. He's suspended, by the way, for 15 months from soccer, international play.
Over the positive drug test.
Over the positive drug test. So April 26, 1991, there's some crazy shit going on here. This all comes out from this. It's from a little earlier in the year. He's hanging out with all these different people, okay? All these mob guys and shit like that. Yeah. He knows a guy who's the financier of a cocaine and call girl network.
Why does he know that guy?
Because this is the people he hangs out with. He's a cokehead who likes girls. That's why. I mean, what the fuck? That's what he's doing. So they end up, the police did a big investigation, listened to over 10,000 hours of tapped phone calls.
Oh, boy.
And they said that on 11 of these calls, they either have Maradona's name mentioned or him talking. So they became interested in him, obviously. Yeah. So apparently through his sister's husband, okay? His sister's husband was allegedly an underworld figure. Through this, Maradona met the owner of a club, the Chalet Park Club, which is one of the clubs he's always out at night. And this guy is a nephew of another mob boss, okay? So basically, they introduce him. They send him to Donna Carmela here. This is a woman here. And on the he asks this person for, quote, women and gear for Diego and me, one of his friends said, okay? Which means women and coke is what you're looking for. Yeah. Right. He would call all the time outside of a club and, call this in. And then Maradona would go to his fancy hotel, and they would send girls over. Sometimes about $800-900 a night.
Yeah,
for this kind of a thing. It'd send some girls and some drugs, and hey, you're having a party.
Yeah,
you're having a fucking party. So anyway, January 7th, there's some shitty house here in the Spanish Quarter of Naples, and a woman answers the call, and a guy on the other end said, Diego gave me this number for 2 women. The woman says yes, and the guy says, good women, mind you. We want to meet, and he gives the hotel, blah, blah, blah. There's a piano bar. So the woman says, is Diego there? And the guy says, you want to speak to him? This is make sure that this is all legit. And she says, I want to speak to Maradona. So the guy tells her, you can ring him at Vincenzo's. And so anyway, she calls. 3:38 a.m. He answers, by the way. And the woman said, do you know who they are? They're the ones from yesterday. He said, yes, I get it. This is Maradona's voice. I get it, yes. I was up at Italo's this morning, who is Italo Iovine, who is the manager of one of his nightclubs that he hangs out with, who, by the way, at this point is being arrested for his part in a major intercontinental cocaine and prostitution racket, by the way. Also.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So the woman says, I'll give you the address. He says, look, I'm at the Arone. I don't even know if it's a bar, I think. They said, will 4 o'clock be okay? He said, have you got 2 girls? And she says, yes. Then says, wait, I want you to say hello to my little boy. So the madam who's booking booking prostitutes and cocaine is like, okay, I have your order. Quickly, though, please talk to my son who's standing right next to me while I book this shit.
He is not going to believe who's looking for hookers and blow.
So a kid called Cristino gets on the line saying, oh, you're my favorite football player, blah, blah, blah. And he says, oh, that's great, little guy. Keep playing hard and you can be one too. Now put your mom back on the phone. Make sure they got shaved pussies, okay? Shaved. I want them shaved.
How does he go through with it after talking to a child? How does the child not make you go, you know what, you're right, I shouldn't be getting this?
Many people have abandoned children for coke in the past. This isn't even his kid. So, fuck that kid. Tell your mom to make the coke good. So,
tell your mom less baking soda this time.
Yeah, Jesus, she's stepping all over this shit. So the call was, of course, tapped on a tapped line, and the police intercepted it. The woman's name was Carmela Cinquagrana, who is basically known as the Grand Madame of the whole area here, the Spanish Quarter. And they're all arrested in the same ring as the Italo guy who... It's cocaine, it's prostitution, it's all of it. We got cocaine, we got gambling, we got prostitution, we got it all. We got a fucking chocolate fountain. We got everything.
He's Cheech from Dusk Till Dawn.
That's it. So, from Dusk Till Dawn. So, these guys here, they were running the organized crime in the city, basically. They were accused of importing cocaine from South America, refining it in Naples, and then selling it along the French Riviera. That's their international scheme. So, the testimonies say that Maradona asked for more than women. He'd asked for coke, too. The police report said this, quote, the famous footballer Diego Maradona on a number of occasions accused Signora Cinquagrana for gear in no small quantities. By this, we understand cocaine. Italio Iovine, Donna Carmela, and her husband Mario Falcone, Mario LaRusso, and 4 others were charged in February. As a result of the evidence assembled, the judges also put out a separate warrant for the arrest of Diego Armando Maradona on the charge of possession and distribution of cocaine. It was the first in a series of a bunch of shit for him. So he ends up, there's all sorts of people outside his house. Somehow he slips out and leaves Italy and goes back to Argentina. Not on the run or anything. He's not on the lam, but he's going.
Away from the madness. It's loud here.
It's loud here. He says, quote, I'm going for my daughter's birthday. Has nothing to do with this other shit, right? He says, I shall miss the Italian match days, the greatest fun I ever had, but I'm tired of struggling. I want to control my life. So, basically he's only coming back to go to court, and that's it.
Yeah. All right.
So he goes home, and now this whole time, too, he said this is bullshit what the cops are saying, even though they have his voice asking for this shit. He's saying that he just, he went out and he got some women and stuff.
I was calling to talk to the kid.
Yeah, that's all it was. When I said gear, I said bring me over like a support.
Bring your boots. Don't forget
supporter.
Your boots.
Bring me like another jersey. They're my supplier of soccer stuff.
I was gonna run scrimmage with the boy.
You know how it is. He denies the whole time that this has anything to do with drugs. He has nothing to do with drugs, even though he has hepatitis and has had constant rumors and is on camera snorting cocaine. I don't know what you're talking about. Not me. He even denies that he fucking hit the ball with his hand, for Christ's sake. You can see him clearly on video doing things, and he goes, nope, wasn't me. Wow, he took that song way too seriously. So he ends up... at this point, he's in an apartment in a working-class section of Buenos Aires, and he's with two men who lives in the apartment. These are two of his childhood friends. So he's hanging out with, his old pals there. So the police had the apartment under surveillance and waited about 2 hours and then moved in. And when they entered the apartment, they found all three of them in a state of serious coke intoxication and observed a man throwing a packet out of a window.
What was in that?
So they showed the packet on local TV reports. It appeared to contain several ounces of cocaine.
Wow.
It wasn't a packet. It was a big fucking brick of coke.
It was a bunch of it.
Yep, white powder. The police identify as cocaine. Police kept the three men inside the apartment while they conducted a lengthy search. Word seeped out, though, and hundreds of people were outside, reporters and everything else. They're going to take Maradona out in cuffs. So they take him outside in a police car, and people are like, oh, my God. He does this weird thing when he walks out, too. He does like this weird smile, like he's all coked out. I can't imagine where his head's at.
Is it like that meth slither?
No. He's like coked as shit, doesn't know what's going on, didn't realize this was going to happen, total shock, and now he's brought outside where hundreds of people are staring at him. So he's trying to act like everything's fine. Yeah. He's like smiling, moving his head around, but it just makes him look more coked up. It doesn't help. Like he doesn't understand what the right thing to do is in that situation. And then by the time he gets to the car, gets to the police station, he's sobbing. He's just in tears,
like he's playing soccer.
Yeah, not so happy anymore.
The coke haze is wearing off, and reality's seeping in.
Oh God, I'm fucked. His friend here, who's also his spokesman, says, "I'm still trying to find out what's going on. I don't know what stage Diego's life is at right now. Everything has changed so much. He's a fucking mess." So he's also very overweight at this point, as he's been suspended.
No. Yeah.
So he's all overweight. He looks like a mess. It's not good. It's a federal sting operation. This isn't an accident. He didn't get pulled over with something. He is charged with distributing drugs free of charge and drug possession. He's found with over a kilo of coke. So, yeah, that's a lot. That's a couple of pounds, man. That's not a little bit of coke.
It's a lot of coke.
I mean, as much as he does it, it's probably for him.
Right, but it looks like trafficking.
But it doesn't look good for him. And then he's Piero Pugliese. He's his security guard, who is now a witness against him, claiming that he has been Diego's cocaine courier from Argentina to Italy. Oh, boy. 4 girls then come forward, 4 women, 3 Brazilians and a German, who said they spent a night with Maradona as 2 different pairs in April and December 1990, and that Maradona had offered them cocaine. They said that they insisted they were not prostitutes, but just girls who were, quote, infatuated with Maradona. That's coming out of their mouth. The morning after one of these, by the way, because they had the dates this happened, was one of the ones he failed to show up to practice. They fucked him so good he didn't show up to practice. So
that's great.
He had a fun night.
But now they're telling and they're corroborating dates with his piss poor behavior afterwards. That sucks.
Not good. And also hotel records that all line up and all that of things. It's not good. It's not good.
Shut up.
He says, these 4 women are fucking liars. on an
All four of them.
international scale. They should be ashamed of themselves. And then a whole bunch more women come and say the exact same fucking thing. And he just has to shut the fuck up on that one because,
Shit.
I mean, they're coming out of the woodwork saying, oh, yeah, no, that's what he does. He orders 2 women and then he does like coke off our tits and then bangs us. And then he doesn't show up for soccer the next day. Yeah, that's what he does.
That's awesome. What a life.
It's not good. It's right in court saying all this shit. What does he say about this?
Oh, I'd love to know.
Everybody's got it in for me. That's what he
Okay.
says. It's not my fault. I'm a nice young man.
Yeah.
So
I should have been a CPA.
why didn't I just become an accountant like the fucking star of God told me to? Jesus Christ. At that point, he says the whole thing started when on the eve of the World Cup semifinal between Italy and Argentina. Obviously, he's playing for Italy, but his team is Naples. It's in Naples, so his fans are there. He said this to the paper, quote, Naples is not Italy. Then this is to the fans of his team, he berated, quote, decades of racism in this city, which, like I said, it's known for that in Naples, but that's what he started saying. Basically saying that telling the Naples people to root for Argentina instead. This is the World Cup. They're not rooting for you. They're rooting for Italy. It's your fucking, what are you, crazy? So he said that's what they should do. And some did, actually, because they loved him so much. Really? Argentina won the match. And he said that's what happened. He talked shit, then beat Italy. And he said since then, this has all been just
retribution.
Payback.
Yeah.
He said, quote, since then I've had no peace. There's a campaign against me. I repeat, I am going. That's what he said. He's leaving Italy forever. So he's protested in legal submissions about, quote, a vendetta on somebody's part on account of matches I was not supposed to win, and references to football interests and things like that. So that's his defense of all this. None of it's true. They're just mad at me because we beat Italy in the World Cup.
Who does he think he is?
That's a really tough defense. I don't know how you mount that defense. That's bad shit. They said that in 1986, they talked about, this is from a police squad here, the, quote, strange presence of Maradona in the company of those convicted or under inquiry for association with the Camorra, which is organized crime, but also a curious relationship of some kind with these convicted with the organization of underground football pools with the primary funds of the Camorra organization. Yeah. Fucking gambling, obviously, interests are big in this. So
fantasy soccer.
Yeah, everything. It's a big gambling thing there. They said in 86, judges in Turin had began investigating, looking into Italy's black market football pools, which were all, mafia run, basically. Yeah, I mean, they said tax-free. They're fucking, it's the numbers. It's
illegal
numbers,
gambling.
it's gambling, it's all that shit. So they said the 89-90 season was bad for the organization because I guess the odds against Napoli winning the league were set at 4-1, and a lot of people from Napoli bet on Napoli still, and then they ended up winning. So the fucking people who have to pay those off were fucked. They took a lot of bets at way too big of a deal there. So they said, Maradona said it's at that time that some intimidation started, which is ridiculous because he still hung out with these people for 5 more years. They said that it's at this time that, and this is the time, by the way, when his name starts popping up on tapped phone calls and shit like that. The magistrate said it's not a theory we just want to ignore. In fact, we're not ignoring it at all. So Maradona, though, he says, quote, in some ways I've bungled, like all men. But my vices are the vices of industrialists and not a few presidents whom you leave alone. If someone has to pay for all of this, then I'll pay, but not Naples, not this wonderful city. In 5 years' time, Naples will see that I have not betrayed her.
Okay.
So my vices are that of big shots and presidents,
All right.
That's all. So the prosecution here, they prosecute him for this shitload of coke that he has. And he's charged in Italy and Argentina, by the way.
Really?
And, he ends
for
up
smuggling between the two.
Yeah, for both. He ends up doing his deal in Argentina here, and his lawyer said, "quote He is the most extraordinary man who has had only one thing in his life since he was 15: football. Since he gave himself to the game, he simply stopped growing. My client has the mind of a 15-year-old."
Since he gave himself. That sounds hot.
Mind of a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Jesus. So the judge said, okay, sure. You, sir, may fuck off. 14 months suspended sentence.
Get out of here.
So 14 months suspended sentence. So he doesn't have to do any time.
That's insane.
That's what that means. Yeah. He had a shitload of coke, but I guess it was his first offense, and he's a god, and they didn't want to put him in jail. I guess that's what happens when you're a god and nobody wants to put you in jail. Mm-hmm. So he's still pretty fucked, though. I mean, he's going around. He's not going to stop doing what he's doing, but now he's under this giant microscope.
Yeah, now they're watching.
They're watching, and he still wants to do coke and fuck girls, though. Lots of them. Young girls, older girls, any women he can find.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Wants to bang women.
Society's built that's our, you get to be great at things and you get to do whatever you want. He's gotten to be great at something. He gets to do whatever he wants. You can't take it from me.
I'm not going to stop it
That's
now.
not fair.
Yeah, what is that about? No, that is not. Is that what you're afraid of, Jimmy? Just don't get into coke and fucking expensive women, and I think you'll be fine.
You think I'll be able to keep my house?
I think so. I think you're going to be okay. Just fucking
God, it's so scary.
Stay away from the coke and the women here. So
I worry so much, James.
I get it. Believe me. So Diego is I mean, he's got to really creep and crawl, and he's got to go to people he really trusts now, and it's a trust thing now. He can't trust people because if somebody could really make a name for themselves by turning him in, anybody who's been busted for anything, they'll be like, Diego Maradona, let's bust him. I mean, he's famous, and now he's on the radar. It's tough.
Heard he's a scumbag. Maybe you know him.
Right? He just holes up in his house and I guess gets coke delivered and food and all that sort of thing, and that's it. And then one day he's in his house, and there's a knock at the door. Yeah. And he just got some coke, so he didn't know who it was. He's like, maybe it's full up. Yeah, maybe it's the 2 chicks I ordered. Sweet, this is going to be great. And he goes to the door and he swings it open, and it's not 2 chicks he ordered. It's just one chick, and she doesn't have any cocaine because she's Vinny Pazienza's ma. And she says,
she's had enough of this shit.
She's had enough, and she says, how is it you've come to arrive here? What's wrong with you? Oh, my God. You were the most the church, when we baptized you, your mother told me about, oh, my God, the star came down. That was the Lord telling you you're going to be an accountant. I was so happy, and now you're doing this. Oh, my God, cocaine. And these women, they were skanks, Diego. I saw them. No, I saw them. They were skanks. You can't be oh, no. Jeez, have you eaten today? You look fat, but I don't think you've eaten. Is that booze weight? I'm going to make you something. Over here. No, come over here. I don't care. What do you have? I don't care if there's prostitutes in the closet. Get them out of here. I'm not making them food, too. Vinny, what's wrong with you? Vinny, come over here and talk to this guy. He's all fucked up, too. What's wrong with you? Diego, come here a minute. Oh, you son of a bitch bastard. And then she explodes. Poof, in an explosion.
Italian rage.
Of Italian rage and marinara sauce. She just pops all over the walls. And Diego's very confused.
Jesus.
Well, you know what? This is how she lives every day. That's the thing. Without that, she would go down. That's how it works. That's how these ladies are. So 1992, he refuses to come back after Napoli, back to Napoli after the ban. Like he said, I'm not coming back. He's not coming back now. I don't think he's welcome anymore. Yeah. So I must go. They've told me. He asks for a transfer from Napoli and joins Seville. Basically, plays for Seville. The October 4th, 1992, he makes his debut with Sevilla, losing 2-1 against Athletic Bilbao. He never went back to Naples. He went back to Spain. Obviously, Seville's in Spain, so he went there. The Their manager had been the manager of the 86 and 90 Argentinian World Cup teams.
Oh.
So that's why he went there. They had to pay $7 million for him, by the way.
Oh, dear Lord.
To Naples to get his contract. And he only plays 26 games for Seville and scores 5 goals.
What happened?
And for $7 million.
Yeah.
Just never really gets there.
5 goals. They paid 1.3, 1.1, 1.5, 1.15?
Fucking
per goal?
Per goal. October 10th, 1993, he leaves Sevilla, and joins Newell's Old Boys. I don't know what the fuck that is, in Argentina.
Yes. Yeah.
There. 1993, October 31st, day after his birthday, he comes back to the national team and plays in Sydney, Australia, against Australia in the playoffs to qualify for the 1994 World Cup. Yeah. They draw 1-1, and the Argentine goal is due to Diego. He makes a great play and assists somebody. So November 17th, 1993, Argentina is captained by Maradona, of course. They win 1-0 for Australia against Australia and qualify for the World Cup.
All right.
It's coming back. 93, that's for the 94 World Cup, obviously. 93, he is awarded, I guess they hand this out only once. In Argentina, he's given the award as the, quote, best Argentine footballer of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time. That's only one-off award. You can't give that out more than once.
I hope they didn't do that jumping the gun. You know what I mean? What do they know?
I guess he already is. It's over. That's it.
It's done. Don't try anymore.
So they could be displaced later, I guess. 1994, February 3rd, 1994, Argentine police raid his country home.
Uh-oh.
This is not for drugs, though. This is... he comes back to Argentina. There's a shitload of reporters, a bunch of journalists and people outside of his place there. I guess it's in the city. It's not like out in the middle of nowhere. And he allegedly opens fucking fire on them with a fucking pellet gun. An air rifle. He starts like I have. He starts fucking shots off with people with the fucking pellet gun.
Kind of funny.
A little dangerous, I would say. You definitely take a fucking eye out with that.
Aim for the body, I guess.
I suppose. Can't really do that. No. Imagine Michael Jordan was shooting reporters with a fucking pellet gun out the window. That would not go over well in 1995. Think about that. Mike, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus. Remember what Vince Coleman, he got suspended for ever for throwing a firecracker near some fans one time. That wasn't even Adam. Imagine he was going over stuffing them down their people's pants and lighting them. What the fuck?
Is there a way to do it legally? Do you have to have
shoot
signage?
Projectiles at people? No.
Like on your own property?
It's not his property. They're out on a city street.
Oh, they're outside? Okay. All right.
Yeah. They're not in his house. They're out on the city street, and he goes out his window and fires fucking shots at them to scatter with an air rifle. That's not okay. Yeah, that's not all right.
like an airsoft gun on your patio?
Yeah, except a pellet gun with not the rubber pellets, the fucking metal pellets. Those are fucked up.
BB gun, babe. That'll hurt.
Not good.
Yeah.
So there was a bunch of reporters who filed charges with the police saying they were injured by these pellets. He was fingerprinted by police and in the whole thing. They take him in. He is basically there. He's denying it, but he's seen on television crouched with 2 other men behind a Mercedes with a rifle in his hand, aiming it at the camera. So
everything that they catch him do on camera, he just
didn't
denies.
do it. Nope, not me. Didn't
trick
do it.
Photography.
That's not me. It's all trick photography, deep fakes. That's what it is. It's that 1993 deep fakes. Then he screamed while pointing a rifle at them, quote, "If you don't get out of here, we're going to start shooting real bullets."
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Then he said, quote, "If you keep making noise," this is before he went in the house, "if you keep making noise, I'll come back and cause a tragedy."
Oh, that's what?
You can't do that, man.
You can't say that.
I get you don't want reporters around your house. Well, guess what? You're a world famous guy that was making $12 million a year in 1985, and then you've done some of the dumbest shit humanly possible. You have to expect annoyance from that. Sorry.
And now you're threatening to murk reporters in the street.
On camera.
Right.
By the way, didn't take somebody aside and go, hey, come here. Oh, yeah, Bob, let me talk to you for a second. If you come on my fucking property one more time, I'm going to cut you. None of that shit. He's aiming it at a camera, saying, I'm going to shoot
Diane Sawyer, what'd I tell you?
I will pop a cap in your ass, Brian Gumbel. Don't fucking think I won't.
See you, Lester Holt. Get off this street.
Where's Brian Williams? Where is he? So, they're outside of his 8-foot walls. So it's not even like,
oh, Jesus.
He's got 8-foot walls. They're just outside the walls, and he doesn't want them to be outside the walls of his fucking,
trying to
estate.
Charlie Rose.
This is fucking crazy. He was released by Newell's Old Boys team after he failed to show up for practice. That's why the reporters are here.
Yeah.
Because he didn't show up for work, so he got released. So everyone's like, let's hear your side of it. Yeah. And his side of it is, I'll pop a cap in your ass.
We hear that you were fired, but it's only because you clearly quit.
Yeah, no shit. He said before that he was before this clash, he had told reporters that he planned to continue playing and look forward to the World Cup in the United States this year. The president of the club he plays for said he's suffering from depression, so you got to cut him some slack. That causes you to shoot at reporters from your.
I've never done that.
It's a common symptom. It's a common symptom. You shoot at anyone who comes over. You're just like, fuck you.
I'm going to tell my therapist I'm cured because I've never been there.
It's all good. Everything's
She's done
fine.
a great job.
Good job. I'm good.
Yeah.
They fingerprinted him. They did not find the air gun that he was filmed having, and all the witnesses said he had. They couldn't find it. Who knows what he did here? So they he said he was pissed off. That's all there is to it. At least 5 reporters were injured when they were hit by these pellets, and that's how it goes. So the World Cup comes up. Yeah. Argentina defeats Australia 2-1 and qualifies for the game, for the cup, like we said. Yeah. He helps Argentina do well here. The first round they beat Greece 4-0. Yeah. 4-0, man, not bad. Yeah. And the next up is a big match against Bulgaria. Oh man, you know how those Bulgarians are with their soccer, boy. Everybody does.
They're so good.
Apparently they're good.
Yeah.
So while he's doing that, there's a bunch of the World Cup does a ton of tests. He's kicked out of the World Cup for testing positive for drugs again.
Oh, you idiot!
Gets himself a 15-month ban here for what they called a cocktail of performance-enhancing drugs. A cocktail. Wow. Now, what he says is this. He said, quote, what happened is, it's a bad start. What had happened is a bad start to explanation of this. You see, let me explain. What happened is that to play against Australia, we were given a speedy coffee. They put something in the coffee, and that's why we ran more.
Okay.
So he doesn't say who they are. We don't know if this is the Argentinian team gave him this, or like some outside force like drugged his coffee. I don't know what he's getting at here.
He thinks that like Death Wish coffee will give you a positive drug test. That's a speedy. Gives you a cocktail of. Performance enhancer, and that's in your coffee.
So they just put it in there, stirred it in.
That was very kind of them.
The doctor and member of FIFA's executive committee said Maradona must have taken a cocktail of drugs because the 5 identified substances are not found in one medication, like together. So he must have taken
in coffee.
Or definitely not in coffee. The doctor said that he'd taken 5 substances. Among the banned stimulants were ephedrine, which you can't take, norepinephrine, I guess that's another thing, pseudoephedrine, which is just Sudafed, norsudafedrine, and methamphetamine.
What is he taking? Meth?
He's taking speed. He's taking speed pills. That's all. Yeah, speed
Christ.
shit. He's taking greenies is what he's taking. That's what baseball players would take back in the day here. These are among 101 substances deemed illegal by FIFA. There you go. He said it's true, this is the doctor, it's true that some of these medications, especially norepinephrine, are often used in weight reduction medications, diet pills, like I said, which is fucking speed. It's exactly what it is. It would seem possible that Maradona may have taken these drugs in a bid to reduce weight leading up to the World Cup. Yeah, he's taking a bunch of speedy diet drugs.
Right.
Not allowed to take that when you're in there. So he said, Maradona said, quote, I don't know. Maybe we were careless, but I swear I did not drug myself to play. With my abilities, I don't need to drug myself.
I'm better than that.
He then said about FIFA, quote, they have retired me from soccer. I don't think I want another revenge. My soul is broken. I don't understand. I would like to fly. It hurts. They cut my legs off when I had a chance to recover. Well, you don't need legs. You're flying, so don't worry about it. Fuck you need legs for? Who walks when you can fly?
It's entirely different transportation, dog.
Chief, don't worry about it. So the head of FIFA's World Cup Organizing Committee said the Argentine Football Association informed the FIFA Organizing Committee that Diego Maradona has been withdrawn from the World Cup. In view of this decision, FIFA will make a ruling on the disciplinary aspects of the case after the World Cup. Until the case is finally settled, Diego Maradona remains suspended from all footballing activity. So, they decided, Argentina decided to remove him from the team on their own. They said to avoid further sanctions that could compromise the team. They don't want to fuck everything up for everybody. He is only the third player to be kicked out of the World Cup for this.
Shit.
One was Haiti's Jean Ernst Joseph in 1974 and Scotland's Willie Johnston in 1978. The only
guy
guys.
from Haiti and a guy from Scotland.
Scottish and Haitian and him.
Yeah.
So, it was a big deal. One of the guys who played with him in Italy said that it was terrible because the World Cup meant everything to him. His reputation was on the line.
Yeah.
Apparently it's not doing well. Another teammate said, incidents like this damage soccer. I don't know if that's against him or the league for calling him out on it. A U.S. coach here said, I don't think any country in the world can rival the passion for soccer of Argentina, but he's a human being who has made a mistake, and people should understand that. He's given a lot to the world of soccer and to soccer in Argentina. It's sad that a legend of the sport may finish as he is now. That's right. He said there's a contradiction. I think the team should also be punished because he's part of the team. And then he went on to say, but his team, we shouldn't have to play his team, though. That's the U.S. coach that said that here.
Yeah, anything to help us win. Other people are so much better at this shit than we are.
Oh, my God. One guy here said, quote, he'll be remembered for leading Argentina to the world title, but 20 years down the road, Maradona won't be remembered like Pele. He had a beautiful story until the cocaine bust kind of ruined his storybook life.
Truth.
1994, he starts coaching a little bit here.
Where?
Deportivo Mandillo of Corrientes. I think it's in Argentina.
It's a Spanish place.
2 months later, he resigns. So, what'd you get back by the name? It's a Spanish place?
Yeah, it's a Spanish-speaking community.
Pretty sure they speak Spanish there. May 6th, 95, he tries again as coach with a different team and resigns after 4 months this time. So
resigns? He's just quitting.
He made it 2 months, twice as long as the last time, 2 months and 4 months, so not bad. October 7th, 95, he can't stay away. He comes back to play again.
Loves it.
Coming back, playing for the Boca Juniors here, and they have a huge party with fireworks and celebrations in the stadium for his return.
Announcing he's there.
Absolutely. 1995, he receives the Golden Ball for his whole career, not just for... He was the player of the moment for his first Golden Ball. Now he's getting a career ball.
This is big moment,
whole ball. And then he is awarded, I don't know, this is a very vague, the criteria for this is very vague. He is awarded by the University of Oxford, by the way. Yeah. He is awarded the, quote, Master Inspirer of Dreams Award. What the fuck is that?
That is whoever built it, whoever made this award is very impressed with his prowess of banging and doing drugs.
Absolutely.
That is a hell of a dream, sir. You've achieved it.
Holy shit. By the way, I have to say here, because you're going to notice some stuff, like, we can't talk about, like, all this, like, TV shows that he was in Argentina and all that shit, just because it would be, like, an 8-parter, and we can't do that. So it's going to be a 1-parter, and we're
not enough people
done.
give a shit.
Yeah. So you'll know, if you're a big Maradona person that's followed him his whole career, you're going to go, oh, you left that out. We can't help it. Sorry, there's not enough room. We had 3 parts, and we left shit out of Tyson.
Yeah.
We had people actually tweeting at me going, I'm a little disappointed you didn't talk about this. I'm like, we did 9 hours. I did. Fuck. How many more parts could we do?
How much more Tyson do you want?
I mean, I appreciate them knowing that what we missed, but it's like, damn it, I tried. So 1996, he finally admits that he did drugs.
Really?
Finally, in 96.
Okay.
Yep. He writes an article called, quote, How I Fought My Drugs Hell. Now he's good now. Don't get it wrong.
It's
don't get it twisted,
all over
Jimmy.
now. Yeah.
But yeah, he gave a big interview, and he said, I was, am, and always will be a drug addict.
There you go.
Yep. He said that cocaine never left me free to think and act. Is another thing he claimed here. He said that many more footballers were also turning to drugs, but nobody talks about it. He said, I am not the only one. Many do it. Yeah,
I believe it.
Yeah, international party lifestyle.
Yeah.
In a game where you got to run a lot, sure, I would assume.
Playing in a lot of countries that are dominated with the cocaine trade. I'm sure that's true. Yeah.
I'm sure it happens. He led Argentina to the World Cup, but they're saying now, he wants to front a government campaign to stamp out drug use, and the president's behind him of Argentina.
Oh.
He admits that he took a lot of substances starting at age 22. He said that when he started to make his name in Europe with Barcelona and then Napoli, so that's when the drugs got big. But he said now, quote, you have to say, today I'm going to turn around and fight the drugs hell. It's the only way to escape.
Listen, I'm going to dare to say no.
I'm going to fight it today. Yeah, I'm going to just say,
1996, he's going to dare?
Just say, well, yeah, he said, you just have to turn around and fight them like hell. I don't know what that means, but he said that he tells a story about, he said 82 was the first time he did coke. Yeah. And he said that his daughter once, Giannina, asked him for a cup of water, but he was unable to get up and go to her after he collapsed in a fucking coke stupor.
Sure.
And he said, I couldn't get up. My hands were trembling. He said, quote, Gianna asked him again for a drink of water, but he couldn't go. As he said, quote, the cocaine had put me in a complete haze. Couldn't do it, man. He said he wants to ensure that no one else suffers the same fate of an incredibly good time. That
I want nobody else to suffer the fate of lifetime of party. I don't want anybody else to feel so happy and smiley and
yeah, it's terrible having all this sex. You know what that does to you?
He then says, have to decide which woman to fuck.
Oh God, where do I put it? Who do I put it in first? Oh my God, who do I put it in while snorting off the other one first? It's a tough decision.
Who do I put on my face versus who do I put on my lap?
This is the way I know he's half Italian right here. Yeah. He says, and I quote, they said, why are you doing this anti-drugs campaign? Why don't you just, don't do drugs yourself and stay out of the spotlight? And he says, quote, it's for the children.
Of course it is.
It's for the children, Jimmy.
Yeah.
He said, because I suffered a lot from drugs, much more than anyone can appreciate. So I'm doing it for the children, Jimmy. It's going to make it all better now. Going to make it all better now. That's right.
Anytime I hear it's for the children, yep. I am very leery on what this is going to do.
Oh, no, it'll be fine. Not going to hurt the kids, but there is some aspect of...
There's some nefarious shit happening.
Oh, yeah. Someone's pocketing some money. Yeah. So, 1997, here, a match he scores on a penalty kick in Boca Juniors' 4-2 victory over Argentinos Juniors. He apparently... They pulled his number randomly for a drug test afterwards, which he says is not random. This is bullshit. You're only doing this because I won the game, and then he failed his drug test.
Yeah, every person that's about to fail screams, this ain't random at all.
This is not right. He said he tested positive for prohibited substances. That's all they would say. His agent said, I just found out about this and I'm completely surprised. I saw Diego this morning and he seemed fine. I'm sure he too is amazed. He's amazed, all right. He does say his agent said that Maradona was, quote, taking some medication to aid in his latest comeback, but he wasn't sure what that medication was. And he'll get to the bottom of it, though.
It's probably cocaine.
Maradona said it's, quote, rigged because of his past drug record. So, yeah. He said it was, he was cold. And then afterwards they told him, oh, yeah, that banned substance was cocaine in your piss. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So,
and every time I've ever met anybody anytime that anybody's been in my life that has gotten fired for drug use, and they always say they know that I do drugs. Well, yeah, that's why they keep testing you, man.
Yeah, that's
so you get tested a lot.
That's the one there. So, fucking stupid. So anyway, that's his deal there. He says it's a big plot to whatever, and he says, you know what? October 30th, 1997, I retire. My 37th birthday. Done and done. Snort as much coke as I want. Yeah. He doesn't play in the World Cup, but he does travel to France to comment on the match for an Argentine TV channel.
Really?
1999, he wins the Olimpia di Platino, which I suppose this is from Argentina here, which is the best footballer of the century they give him. They've already given him the golden ball for the best career, so now he's got
they give him the best one ever. And
That's
now they're doing it again? This is kind of redundant.
He also receives from Argentina the AFA award as the best sportsman of the century in Argentina. His goal in 1986 against England, the not the hand of God one, the other one, is chosen by FIFA in a worldwide poll as the best goal ever in the history of football.
And all of it.
All of football. And then finally in 2000, FIFA has a worldwide internet poll, and he is named the player of the century in soccer. The player of the century. That's a lot to have on you.
Listen, man.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
It's true. That's why he got to be able to do everything he did.
That's the problem. So Pele said of this, quote, my main... He's like,
Pele
first of all,
said of this, what the fuck?
Who the fuck am I? You forget about me?
People in America know who I am.
5 bank accounts, 3 ounces, and 2 vehicles, bitch. Do you understand that? This motherfucker's on coke. I'm doing great. I'm Pele, bitch. And he slaps her. Slaps the reporter across the face.
Do a song, Forgot About Pele.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you motherfuckers thought you forgot about Pele. Anyway. So, I just picture them all angry rapping now. Oh, man, I want a duet between Pele and Hank Williams Jr. about Monday Night Soccer. So
Eminem singing the chorus.
Absolutely. Pele said, my main doubt is whether he has the sufficient greatness as a person to justify being honored by a worldwide audience.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a scumbag.
I never got caught.
I mean, look at me. I'm a nice guy. So that same year, he proves Pele right. That same year, he's on vacation in Uruguay for some reason. I don't know what's down there, but something good, I guess. And he is hospitalized in intensive care for what at the time is reported as high blood pressure and an irregular heartbeat, but is actually a cocaine-induced heart attack that he's having. He is having an overdose of cocaine.
Very weird.
Super strange.
It's either all the food I ate in Italy or all the coke I had everywhere.
All over the place, especially here.
Yeah.
They call it a ventricular arrhythmia, an irregular heartbeat that can be fatal if not controlled. It's coke. He's on coke. That's all it was, they find out. He's all coked up. It was an overdose of coke. He spends like the next 4 years recovering in Cuba.
What?
He goes to Cuba where Fidel Castro loves him, and he basically convalesces in Cuba for like 3 to 4 years.
Stunning.
Hangs out in Cuba. Now, remember that air rifle incident?
Yeah.
Well, he was fucking supposed to. He had a 2-year prison sentence to him, but then after the appeal, the appeal has been going on for years, and in 2002, they finally decide that he won't have to go to jail, even though the court upheld his 2-year prison sentence for firing the air rifle at people. But they said that he'll only be jailed if he is sentenced to another crime in the next 10 years. Then this will come back.
Okay.
So the reporters, several of them, say they plan to sue him, and they said any money won, they'll have a pool and they'll donate it to charity.
Okay.
That's nice. January 2004, he returns from Argentina to Cuba on March 22nd, and immediately people are like, holy shit, what happened to Diego? He's fat as fuck.
Awesome.
He's all sorts of fat, which when you've been doing coke for 20 years, if you go somewhere, stop doing coke, you're probably going to gain a bunch of weight. He's been playing
somewhere where tacos are probably so prevalent.
Well, those fucking Cuban sandwiches, the pork,
oh,
all
God,
that shit.
Jesus.
So I don't know if that's what they're eating in Cuba, but either way, it's good. It's good shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's got all sorts of fucking problems now because that's what happens. He's been running around and doing coke. So you're going to stay thin when you run 20 miles a day and do coke. When you stop all of that, you're just going to blow up and get big.
Yeah.
So they said he's responding. He comes back, and then as soon as he gets back to Buenos Aires, he's rushed to the hospital with heart problems and breathing difficulties again.
Oh, no.
In 2004, his doctor said that his progress has been satisfactory, but that up until now, and now arterial pressure was normalizing. He fell ill after an overdose, is what happened here.
Yeah.
That's what was reported in the news. But then his doctor came out in the press and said it has nothing to do with drugs.
Never.
Nothing.
Yeah.
He said that nothing to do with drugs. He said, quote, it's not related to an overdose. Lately, Maradona was not consuming cocaine. He has a lung infection because of a chill. He's not quite stable and his progress is relatively good. So the odds are, here's what he's expecting us to believe, that a known cokehead for 25 years at this point, who had a heart attack due to a cocaine overdose just a couple of years earlier.
Yeah.
He's saying it's not that, though. It's because of a chill in the air is why he's ill. So
he caught a breeze.
He caught a breeze. You know how that goes, and that's what it is. Wow. That's a little fucking amazing here. His doctor said, this is his ex. Was this his ex-wife? Or, I don't know who the fuck this is. The mother of one of his sons, Diego Armando Jr.
Oh,
you know how many Diego Armando? No. This is somebody else.
It's another one.
It's another one. She said, quote, we expect him to heal as soon as possible. It's a tough moment, but we're confident that he'll get better. Another player that knows him said the situation is more severe than 4 years ago. Not good. May 2004, he leaves the hospital and enters drug rehab. So it was for coke. Yeah. He enters a drug rehab center in West Buenos Aires, checks himself in there. Several clinics refused to take him, fearing he would resist treatment and cause a media circus that would fuck over their other patients too, which makes sense. One of the hospitals said to accept a patient like him is not easy. Several clinics have refused because he's simply not like other patients. He's not. He's been kept under sedation in the intensive care unit while he fought symptoms of coming off drugs. He's coming down, detoxing him. Uh-huh. He said he didn't want to go here. He wanted to return to Cuba rather than come to this place. And Cuban leader Fidel Castro even put a plane at Maradona's disposal should he want to come back. He sent a plane for him in case you want to come back. He said he wanted to go back instead of this drug rehab place to a luxurious residence at General Rodriguez, which is 50 kilometers northwest of Buenos Aires, and that's where he went from the hospital. From there, he played golf, he kicked a soccer ball, and walked around without a shirt on, and they said that's what caused him to be cold and come back to the hospital because he's been walking around without a shirt in the chilly air. That's what happens here. So, that's literally his goal. I walked around without a shirt. That's pretty fucking funny. He's in rehab. They said he's got all these breathing problems. His doctor said he's going to need 2 years to overcome his drug addiction and his health problems.
Wow, like Doc Holliday.
Going to take a couple. Yeah, he's like Doc Holliday. He's a mess, a fucking mess. But he also told a local radio station that he is going to need to be committed to not doing cocaine anymore if he wants this to be a thing. So he can't be doing all this blow. August 2004, he's doing a television interview, Diego is, about his frustrations over his cocaine addiction. And he breaks down sobbing on the screen, and very much unlike him here. He is trying to obtain a judge's permission to leave Argentina and go back to Cuba. He says it's bullshit that he has to stay there. Quote, I'm old enough to have enough decision-making power to know what to do with my life. Okay. He's been a bit of a mess here. He said that he thought he was losing the battle with the judge as he was crying. He said that he first tried drugs in 82, and he said, once you're in, you can't get out. That's that. And at this point, he weighs 198 pounds and was trying to diet. So, 200 pounds, 5'5".
5'5", Jesus.
Yeah, but he did show the TV. Once he wiped the tears from his eyes, he balanced a soccer ball on his forehead to show a trick he can still do. You were crying a second ago.
Yeah.
2005, he's gonna get better. He's like a divorcee. He's going to get a real estate license probably down the line, but he is going to start out with a stomach stapling operation. He's like, I am going to get me feeling like me again. He loses about 66 pounds.
Jesus.
And after that, he went on briefly to even host his own TV program from this. Fin Diego. He's doing great. I mean, Jesus, what a mess. He's had to do great. He's been a mess otherwise. I mean, Jesus Christ. There are so many people named after him in Italy and in Argentina named Diego Armando. It's unfucking real. And some of them even have the whole name. I feel bad for a lot of people, but not nearly as bad as I feel for Diego Maradona, a cook in Canada at Forbes.
Oh.
That's all. Cook. Yeah. Diego Maradona, senior advisor at Apple Inc. in Elk Grove, California.
That right?
That's right. Diego Maradona, engineer in the greater Minneapolis-St. Paul area.
Okay.
And finally, and always the people I feel the worst for, Diego Maradona, licensed realtor in Vaughan, Ontario, Canada. No one wants to buy a house from a cokehead, do they?
I'm surprised you didn't find a CPA.
Oh, that would have been amazing. If there was one, that would have definitely been on there, but I didn't find any.
I don't think he's accounting now his calories, sounds like.
So, 2006, he does a TV commercial for a Brazilian soda that portrayed him as a member of the Brazilian national team, including wearing the yellow jersey and singing with Ronaldo. And then later on in the commercial, he wakes up realizing he had a nightmare after drinking too much of the drink, which doesn't seem like a good advertisement for it.
No.
It causes nightmares if you drink too much. So that caused a bunch of controversy because they were like, oh, my God, you had a Brazil shirt on. So people in Argentina were all pissed off. And who fucking cares? Jesus Christ. Get over it, people. So 2007, more health problems. He is taken to a Buenos Aires hospital in an ambulance after, quote, falling ill. So, he appeared overweight recently again as well.
He ate through it.
Not doing well, and they said that he was suffering from, he said that the hospitalization was not related to an addiction to dangerous drugs. Okay. He said that his doctor said that he's fine, but he has some problems for some time with food, alcoholic drinks, and tobacco. Whatever he gets his hands on. He said that he put on too much weight and smoked too many cigars.
Oh.
And that's why he's all fucked up like that. Now, the drinking here, he's drinking so much he's given sedatives he needs to be given drugs to detox from booze. That's how much he's drinking. No. He's on the same schedule he was on with the coke, basically.
He's doing the shaking, probably.
Oh, yeah. He's got the fucking DTs and shit. He's saying that heavy drinking was to blame for his latest health crisis, and also he's been smoking tons of cigars, drinking a shitload, and gaining weight. His doctor, or one of his doctors, said he's out of danger and doing satisfactorily. All of his tests are routine. He's sedated due to alcohol abstinence. So, he's got they said, it's rough. Also here, they said that he's got hepatitis as well. Again, Hepatitis brought on by excessive alcohol consumption is what his doctor said. He's fucking up his liver.
Is that a thing that alcohol can do to you?
I don't. This is his doctor, Dr. Alfredo Cahey. He says the acute type of hepatitis he has now is a case brought on by alcoholism. So I guess if you drink enough, you can kick your liver into fucking itself up. He was suffering from a mix of many things. At first, I feared it was pancreatitis. I was constantly checking Diego, and I think this time we've nailed it. We figured it out. Yeah. He has chronic hepatitis since he contracted it in 1991, and I guess he can kind of kick it back in with shit. So he had a 2-week hospitalization for acute hepatitis brought on by alcohol abuse, and then he's let out and released, and he's, Jimmy, what is he?
He's so good now.
He is fucking gold. He's a gold ball holding, gold shoe wearing good man.
He's golden now.
He's gold now. So 2008, he's named the Argentina coach.
Oh, he's the coach of the team now?
Seems like a reliable guy to fucking lead young men, right? Why not?
I mean, he's recognizable as fuck now.
Yeah, he's tapped to do that. In 2009, it comes out that the Italian government is suing him. He owes the Italian government 37 million euros.
Holy shit.
Do you have any idea how much fucking money that is? That's like $60 million. That's crazy. That's what he owes.
Oh, euros. Yeah.
Euros. He owes.
That's a lot.
That in 2009 money too.
In taxes?
In taxes. He's made $100 million over there. He didn't pay shit. So
wow.
Neapolitan officials tell the world about this. He played over there. He only paid $42,000 euros of what he owes.
Fuck.
As well as he handed over 2 luxury watches to the Italian government as well. Around 23.5 million euros of his debt is accounted for by interest of his original tax debt.
Millions of euros.
It's 14 million he owed, and now he owes another 23.5 in interest.
Dear Lord.
They have seized earrings from him at one point. And in an effort to recover unpaid taxes, he also handed over earrings worth some 4,000 euros at a health clinic in northern Italy, where the cops found out he was in Italy, and they went up and they were like, what do you got on you that's worth something? And literally took the earrings out of his ears. I swear that's what happened.
Wow.
The Italian news agency said he still got it out there. They said that he, what is this? Oh, the coach said that he's a regular visitor to the health clinic, and he was being reportedly treated for weight and stress problems. 3 years ago, the police took 2 Rolex watches worth 10,000 euros each from him during a visit to Naples.
That's not enough.
At the time, the tax police said it was acting on judicial order authorizing the seizure of anything of value within plain sight. If he is seen and he has anything of value on him, they can just fucking strip his ass and take it. That is hilarious. 2010, he appears in a commercial for Louis Vuitton.
What?
Yeah. What the fuck is that all about?
He can't afford it.
It is a commercial for Louis Vuitton where he is playing a game of like foosball, basically. Yeah. He's playing foosball with Pele and Zinedine Zidane.
That's pretty funny.
Who's the guy who headbutted that one dude and fucking almost killed him back then. So as a manager, Argentina is struggling to qualify for the World Cup here. So people are saying, you better qualify for the fucking World Cup. What are you doing here? He said after they beat South Africa and they earn a trip, or they beat Peru to earn a trip to South Africa for the World Cup, he says, and I quote, "For those who didn't believe and criticized, you can suck it." And keep on sucking it. You treated me like rubbish. You can suck it and keep on sucking it. You treated me like rubbish. You can suck it and keep on sucking it. That's what he said. Okay, Shawn Michaels, that's terrific. What are we talking about?
That's amazing. In the press, he told people to suck his dick.
That's fucking amazing, man.
And don't stop.
Oh, fuck, I loved it. He said that they end up losing to Germany 4-0 in the quarterfinals. I guess his team was getting knocked around a lot by physical play, and he was pissed off and said, quote, "This is football, not kung fu fighting."
Okay, well,
it's a good line. Suck it and keep on sucking it. 2013, he has a big problem with his girlfriend here. He kicked out his she's like 20 she's 23, he's 53, 30 years younger. So
Dear Lord.
I guess he kicked her out of the house or some shit. They had a big fight. I guess he accused her of flirting with some soccer player at a training camp in Dubai. And he was really upset with jealousy. He claims that she tried to swap Twitter and Facebook details with him, like tried to follow him and all that. This Spanish goalkeeper who's also 23. Yeah, that's what you're going to get. You're a fat old man, and he's not. So they're both Argentinian there, and they got engaged. They were engaged, him and his fiance, obviously, but then he left her in Dubai, and she came back alone to Argentina. Awesome. And wow. Maradona, she threatened him that she would embarrass him by signing up for a reality TV show and doing all that. Yeah, so
some of those desperate shows, desperate work, Mike.
Now, the goaltender in question said that he doesn't think he ever met the woman. He didn't even remember. He's like, I don't fucking know. I meet a lot of chicks. What do I know? That's fucking wild. He's got 2 daughters with his ex-wife, plus a son and a daughter from affairs, they say, just various outside interests. His second son arrived last year when his ex-girlfriend gave birth. So now he's had a new fiance. Holy shit. Last month, he denied her claim that the baby she was carrying now is also his. I'm going to say it probably is. Then he gets back together with this woman. Veronica Ojeda is her name. This is the problem. Oh, no, this is a different woman. Holy shit, this is a different woman. Veronica Ojeda is his ex-girlfriend. Okay, so he breaks up with this one, then gets back together with his ex-girlfriend, whom he denied impregnating, but then afterwards they're together again. So that's his fucking baby, is what that says. They're on a flight, okay? Yeah. He grabs her by the neck during a flight.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. According to passengers, they said Maradona was on his way to visit his baby son by her. He exchanged insults with his... Wow, okay. So, no, he is with her. I'm sorry. Scratch that. Okay, the baby he denied having.
Yes.
That woman had that baby, okay? Yeah. He now says it is his and was on the way flying there to see the baby for the first time while he was with this girlfriend who's 23, who he says flirted with a Spanish goaltender, okay?
And the goaltender has no idea who she is.
No idea who she is.
This is awesome.
They're on a plane. They exchange some insults, and then he gets violent. The flight attendants and fellow business class travelers, including the wife of the governor of Argentina's Santa Fe province, had to step in to try to calm him down.
Wow.
Yeah, the wife of the governor said she tried to talk to Maradona after he, quote, went into a crisis on the flight from Dubai, where he works as a sports ambassador. Another Argentine journalist who was in the economy class on the same flight said that he was told by some business class passengers that the scene between Maradona and Olivia was akin to a boxing match. Further report states that Maradona had told bodyguards to elbow photographers when he touched down in Buenos Aires and allegedly threw stones at cameramen on the road.
That's his MO.
After this. She, by the way, she's 4.5 months pregnant, this girl that he's beating up on a plane.
She's pregnant too.
Yeah, she's pregnant too with his baby, and he's choking her. So, because she's flirting with Spanish goaltenders. So, now, October 2014, he is still going with this girl. They're still together, and he's been accused of beating her again, this time over a cell phone. Apparently, a video secretly filmed by her shows Maradona shouting at her and repeatedly using her mobile phone before striking her twice. They said that once engaged, this is from the report, once engaged, the 53-year-old can be heard pleading, "Stop, Diego, stop hitting me." She's pleading. This is fucking crazy. He denied hitting her, even though it's on camera.
Again.
But admits that he knocked the phone out of her hand. He said, quote, "I sent the phone flying, but I swear by my children that I never raised a hand to a woman. The story starts and finishes there." That's what he says.
How did you knock a phone out of her hand? That's raising a hand to her.
That's raising a hand. Then he says that his life has been crazy. He says, I am 53 going on 78 because my life hasn't been normal.
No.
I've lived... No.
That's not why.
He said, I've lived 80 years with the life I've gone through. That's true.
Yeah.
Soccer gave me everything I have, more than I ever imagined. If I hadn't had this addiction, I could have played a lot more. But today, that is the past. I am fine, and what I regret most is not having my parents, because they're dead. They were old. They were born in the 20s, his parents. They were fucking
Yeah, he's
old.
a 54-year-old with a 78-year-old's heart.
That's the fucking main issue there. I guess 2017, he was coaching in the United Arab Emirates.
Really?
And his team didn't get promotion to the next league, so he quit. That was that.
Enough of this shit.
2018, he is coaching a second division Mexican club.
Okay.
He says he's clean and sober and all good, and coaching a Mexican club here, a second division one. He says that he's doing great, and he says this is a healthy new beginning after a long sickness. So he's feeling good.
Yeah.
May 2019, he's in court with his girlfriend here, the 23-year-old. They broke up in December of 2018, and now she goes to family court to launch a action for economic compensation. She wants child support and all that shit. He's down there. While he's down there in Mexico, he is taken aside by authorities down there and detained while he's served with the formal court proceedings. So he's like basically taken to the police station, kind of arrested down there for that. He is rushed to the hospital this same year down there after suffering internal bleeding in his stomach.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, I don't know if it's bleeding ulcers or what, or if he poked himself with something, but they said that he's going to make a speedy recovery, but he does step down as manager of the club. Okay. Now, 2019 is when the film came out, the Diego Maradona film, which it's a big deal. It's out there. The director, he made the Amy, which is the Amy Winehouse one, and the Senna, which is Ayrton Senna, the motor racer. He said that, quote, Maradona is the third part of a trilogy about child geniuses and fame. I was fascinated by his journey. Wherever he went, there were moments of incredible brilliance and drama. He was a leader, taking his teams to the very top, but also many lows in his career. He was always the little guy fighting against the system, and he was willing to do anything, to use all of his cunning and intelligence to win. He, quote, he's a man who's trying to escape the fame and lose himself in his addictions of sex, drugs, and alcohol. But in the middle of it, you've got a kid who jumps on the call to ask him about the last match. If you put that in an episode of The Sopranos, you'd think it was funny, but you'd think that would never happen, but it did. That's how Diego's life was. Yeah. I think talking about the drug deal that the kid comes on and says, hey, great job. Which would be funny in The Sopranos. He's got
get your mom back on. I need to get Coke.
Come on, my dick's getting real hard. It's not getting any softer. So you get on
Tell your
over
mom
here.
to hurry up with the hooas and the Coke, please.
Yeah, and there's a lot like that. That's kind of there's a lot of little things that are hard to put in here. This documentary. There's a ton of shit. So, or in this episode, I mean, November 20th, 2020, he is admitted to a hospital, supposedly for psychological reasons.
Yeah.
A representative of his said his condition was not serious. Then, a day later, he underwent emergency brain surgery to treat a subdural hematoma.
Oh, no.
Apparently serious. He's released on November 12th after successful surgery and was supervised by doctors as an outpatient. So that's good. That's November 12th. November 25th, 2020, he dies in his sleep.
Oh, shit.
Yep, has a heart attack in his sleep.
Oh, it was not long for this world.
Nope. It was his funeral was a giant thing, thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. His family took his coffin and relocated it from the rotunda of the presidential palace after the fans. That's where they placed his body.
Laid in state?
Laid in state, yeah. Wow. He's got all these, that's what he is down there. And fans took over an inner city courtyard and clashed with police over the whole thing. So
holy shit.
It got fucking messy over this shit. And next day he was buried next to his parents there. Okay. His teammate, one of his former teammates said, at the time that Maradona retired from active football, he left Argentina traumatized. Maradona was more than just a great footballer. He was a special compensation factor for a country that in a few years lived through several military dictatorships and social frustrations of all kinds. He said Maradona offered to the Argentines a way out of their collective frustration, and that's why people there love him as a divine figure. That's what it is. Another one, who is this here? Another guy wrote, quote, "That Sunday in Mexico City," talking about the Hand of God game, "the world saw one man single-handedly, in more than one sense of the phrase, lift the mood of a depressed, downtrodden nation into the stratosphere. With 2 goals in the space of 4 minutes, he allowed them to dare to dream that they, like him, could be the best in the world. He did it first by nefarious and then by spellbindingly brilliant means. In those moments, he went from star player to legend," which is true. His brother, a little over a year later, his brother dies of a heart attack also.
Wow.
Same
was he
shit.
Involved in the same parties, maybe?
We don't know. I mean, maybe he was hanging out with him. He was a professional player,
maybe,
too.
yeah.
Couple things about him that we didn't have time for a lot was like he was very big politically, very active politically. He loved Hugo Chavez.
Really?
He liked communist shit. Hugo Chavez is a communist. I mean, he was a straight communist. That's what he likes. He likes Castro and Hugo Chavez and guys like that. Yeah, he hangs out with Hugo Chavez, or did when he was alive anyway, when they both were. So May 2021, 7 medical professionals are charged with homicide over his death.
What?
Oh, yeah, they did like a fucking Michael Jackson thing here.
Oh, shit, over like that surgery and all that?
So they claim that these doctors violated their duties and they could face between 8 and 25 years in prison each if convicted.
That's a lot.
On June 25th, the psychiatrist Augusta Kazachav was summoned to the prosecutor's office and faced formal questioning, where she accepted to answer more than 100 queries regarding the medical treatment given to Maradona in that medical field. After 7 hours of questioning, her lawyer addressed the press and denied that her prescription medication could have worsened Maradona's heart condition, and this doctor denied any further responsibility in his death. On June 28th, multiple arrest warrants were issued by a lawyer against this person, this Vadim Mizichanuk, or whatever the fuck it is, and Leopoldo Luke, who's a personal doctor, psychologist Carlos Diaz, and Dr. Nancy Forlini in direct connection with the negligent death. The prosecutors in the case rejected to ask a judge to issue the arrest warrants against all the professionals on the basis that they considered the request had been a mediatic stunt, and added that the requester of the arrest warrants wanted a TV show stunt in consideration of the timing with personal doctors' interrogation. So it's that they're fighting over it now. A watch was stolen from him apparently a while back here. A watch. It was a Hublot. I don't know real expensive watches, but apparently it's like a $25,000 watch.
Wow.
This watch. And apparently, somebody was working as a security guard at a Dubai-based firm where memorabilia relating to him was being kept, and somebody stole the watch, and the guy ended up getting arrested. And I believe he was from India. He was arrested in Dubai. Mm-hmm. So that's what ended up happening. He also had apparently jerseys that he stole as well. This watch had the number 10 jersey engraved on the back of it.
Oh.
You can't hide it. It's one of those.
The government wants that.
Yeah. November 2021, okay? He is, him and his entourage are being posthumously accused of rape here.
What?
Mavis Alvarez Rigo, who is a Miami, Florida resident now, told the press in Buenos Aires how she met Maradona when she was 16 and he was in his 40s.
Yuck.
When she lived in Cuba, when he was there, where he was undergoing drug treatment. She said, "I was dazzled. He won me over, but after 2 months, everything started to change." She said that I loved him, but I hated him too. I even thought about suicide. She goes on to say that this happened between 4 and 5 years, that she was subjected to what she called the abuse of this. She said she'd been held against her will for several weeks in a hotel by Maradona's entourage in 2001, banned from going out alone, and forced into a breast augmentation operation.
Holy shit.
Oh, my God. That's terrible. She also claimed that Maradona had raped her on one occasion at their home in Havana and mentioned several other episodes of physical violence. She alleged that Maradona raped her in the clinic in Havana where he was being treated while her mother was in the next room. Yeah. She says, quote,
say again?
Her mother was in the next room. She says, quote, he covers my mouth. He rapes me. I don't want to think about it too much.
Oh
I stopped being a girl. All my innocence was stolen from me. It's hard. You stop living the innocent things that a girl of that age has to experience. So he has admitted to the relationship with her, but it was a consensual relationship in what he had said in the past. She's admitted that he was fucking. He met her when she was 15. I guess they started fucking when she was 16. He was in his 40s. That is very, very creepy here.
Taylor again says, "What the fuck?"
That's the thing. Well, her family allowed it because he was friends with Castro,
of course,
and they were scared. They said, if you don't let Castro's friend date your daughter, what happens to you? You know what I mean? So they were scared. Anyway, she lives in Miami there. And she said, it's hard to be in his country, to see that he is everywhere. He's an idol at the same time. Everything I remember about him as a person feels ugly. Because she said she went back to Argentina at one point, and that's what she saw. Mm-hmm. She says she has not filed a complaint herself, but is giving evidence to Argentine prosecutor in connection with a complaint brought by a different Argentine woman.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's getting me too'd.
There's organization, the Foundation for Peace, filed a complaint after seeing her confessions in the American media. The complaint relates in particular to human trafficking, deprivation of liberty, forced servitude, assault, and battery. She said she was speaking out after so many years of silence in order to balance some of the stories that were being told in a TV series about Maradona up to the run-up of the first anniversary of his death. She said that she would not be initiating any further proceedings. She said, I've done what I had to do. The rest I leave to the courts. I've achieved my goal to say what happened here, to prevent it from happening to others, or at least so that other girls feel the strength and the courage to speak up. So 5 members of his entourage who've been implicated have all denied the allegations. So there's that.
Of course they did, yeah.
Now, can't get enough? Well, if you were around a few weeks ago, fucking a few days ago, if you were around on May 6th, 2022, which was extremely recently,
yeah,
you could have bought his Hand of God jersey.
What?
The Hand of God jersey sold for over $9 million on May 6, 2022. The jersey he was wearing, making it the most expensive sports memorabilia ever sold in fucking history.
$9 million for a shirt that he wore to punch a ball in the goal.
Hand of God. Yep.
And then ran the whole field to score a legitimate goal.
Yeah, and win it.
Awesome.
So it's $9 million that thing went for.
That's
that jersey.
A pretty sweet jersey.
So, yeah, you could have gotten it. You could have gotten it, people. You were right there. So there you go. That's Diego Maradona.
No doubt.
He's had quite the life. That's the kind of guy, to do one episode on him, you kind of just have to give, here's kind of an idea of what he did and a few details, because there's no way to fill it all in. It would be like Tyson. It would be, it would be 9 hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to do the highlights, and it is fucking bananas, though, with the life that guy led.
You got to treat his career like a hockey game. It's just glimpses.
like highlights of a soccer game.
Yeah.
And I have to apologize, by the way, if we didn't bring up soccer moments that were big that he's known for. We don't fucking know what they are, so that's why. It's very hard. I knew Hand of God was a big deal, and I looked that up, and I knew World Cup stuff's a big deal. Other than that, I have no idea what people get excited about. What gets your dick hard for soccer is over my pay grade. I don't know. So that said, thank you for listening to Diego Maradona. If you liked it, tell the world about it.
Yeah.
It's a crazy story. Get on Apple Podcasts or whatever app you're listening on. Give us 5 stars because it does help us out. So if you want to help the show out, you can do that. You can also follow us on social media, at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Right. That's a thing you can do. You can head over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Oh, yeah.
where you can get all of your crime and sports and small town murder merchandise. There's a coloring book out now, the Shut Up and Give Me coloring book, which is great. You can get that, all sorts of crazy new merchandise, and tickets to live shows as well, all throughout the year for Small Town Murder. And we have one crime and sports with tickets left, and that is Ace of Spades Sacramento in August. Get your tickets to that now. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. Also, Patreon. My God. We're going to hear a list of the most wonderful people in a second here, but patreon.com/crime and sports. If you want your fix of good stuff, bonus stuff, more stuff, and great stuff, you're going to find it all the stuff, damn it, at patreon.com/crime and sports. Anybody $5 or above, you're going to get access to everything. Crime and sports bonus episodes, Small Town Murder bonus episodes, anything we put out. This week, what you're going to get, the whole back catalog, too.
All of it.
Hundreds of episodes on there. It's a lot. If you're like, I need more, there's over 100 episodes on there. Get into that.
Yeah.
So do that. This week, we're going to talk about, first of all, for crime and sports, a crazy story of this dude named L.W. Wright, who showed up at a NASCAR race in the late 70s with, faked qualifications, wasn't a race car driver, never raced before.
Not once.
Crashed 5 times because he's not a race car driver, then disappeared. And everyone said, who the fuck was that guy? Disappeared for 40 years. Yeah. And then a month ago, he popped out and was like, I'll tell you the story. I'm here now.
Y'all still curious?
He's the DB Cooper of sports, this guy. It's fucking amazing. Just disappearing act. So we got to hear about this. L.W. Wright. Then for Small Town Murder, something extremely interesting. We're going to talk about times in history where pop culture is blamed for murder. Whether it's in court, they're saying these kids listened to this music and then murdered someone, or this movie caused someone to murder, or these video games caused someone to murder, or, kind of the whole West Memphis 3 thing and more, and kind of branched out from there. It must have been the music. Yeah. So we'll talk about all that here. Pop culture allegedly causing murder. We'll get into all of that. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get it all. And in addition to that, you're going to get a goddamn shout out. And I think I want to hear those shout outs right now after hearing a story of cocaine haze. Jimmy, why don't you do me a favor? Hit me with them right now.
This week's executive producers are Alicia Johnson, Cindy Phillips, right out of the gate. It's all fucked. Michelle Hansen, Jordan Bennett, Amber Warsnack, Allison Gowdy, John Bloomfield. You guys, truly, we can't do this without you, and you really are amazing. Thank you so much. Other producers this week are Kaylin Bancroft. Happy birthday. James Martyr, Peyton Meadows, Thomas DeMello, and his friend Mike Oxmall. Are you happy? Are you proud of yourself, Thomas?
Yes, I think he is.
Fucking Jesus. Steve Schnell, Thomas Smith, Cody Leversey, Jennifer Ward, Janice Hill, Regina Beerholtz, I think, Stacy Nielsen, happy birthday. Deandra Bobo, happy birthday and anniversary. And Ryan Bobo, her husband's in Space Force, James. He's a Space Force man.
What does that mean? What does he do?
He's one of those space forces. We have the Army in the space. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but they're not in space though.
No, not yet. They're just training for it for the interstellar space fights.
Congratulations on that,
Ryan. You're an amazing guy. The interstellar space
when the aliens
fighter.
Come fight them off, please. Thank you.
Heidi Browning, the Jake 207, Martha with no last name, Heather Holmgren, Annie Hamill, I think, Puck Wookie, Alvin Catabay, Kevin Layer, like layer cake, I guess, Brian Cloud, Rebecca Yates or Yeats, Jonah Comu, Christopher Adcock, SF Niners. That's the San Francisco Niners, James.
I would think so, yeah.
Jay Guthier, Jerry Martinez, Max Peterson, Karen Polishik.
Something Polish.
Hugh Duffy, Caleb with no last name, Whitney with no last name, Guthier Hoare, James, George Nicholas, Aaron McDowell, Jill Captain, Shirts with no last name, Carrie Woolley, Jay and Dubs, Libby Farrell, Sam Behrens, Kathy Long, Nicole Bentley, Justin Sherman, Rai the Muffin Guy, Molly Fletcher, Leslie with no last name, Ashley Longstreet, Christina Jensen Nessie, Morgan, Gravenmeyer, under there, James,
God, it's coming.
There. Andrew Day, Rowe with no last name, Chonky Fruit Bat, Kathleen Churchrand, Connor Watson, Brittany Donor. Rachel Schulten and Scott and Angia Lennon. Angie. It's probably just Angie.
It's Angie.
Nah,
What's
probably.
up, Angie?
Jamie Slater,
Angie.
Cameron P., Bruce Clark, Caleb Overby, Lori Stakowicz, and Joe Stakowicz. That's sandwich in the
Stakowicz
probably
brothers.
The correct spelling. Brother and sister, Lori and Joe. Or you know what? We don't fucking know. How am I supposed to know? Matthew Brewer, Alexandra Poss, Patricio Favila, Heather with no last name, Apnawaki. I don't know. I'm never going to pronounce that. Charlene Littleton, Elsa Williams, D. Woods, Bailey with no last name, Leanne Muller, Kelly Manjang, Alan Hofenberger, Sean Hagen. 1 cent, Andrew Gracie, Emma Doyle, Leslie Clippadaldo.
Clippadildo?
Yep.
Alexia. On your belt for later? It's a good way to carry it.
Right on your pocket.
Doesn't fit in the pocket well, so you got to clip it to your belt.
You got to clip it right there. Clip a dildo.
Like a flashlight.
Oh, poor Leslie. Alexia Cox. Katie with no last name. Joseph Parker. Jake Dressel. Jennifer Hansen. Jason Campbell. Stone Raymakers. Joan Mollett. Dusty Wilson. Will Burton Edwards. Joan O'Brien. Sidney Franco. M. Roswell. Anders Smilnix. Knits. Fuck it. Anders, God damn it. Kyra Spikes, Mark Bowling, Tiana Aversa, Betsy Schaub Robinson, Liz with no last name, Rihanna Dozel, Nicole Stodel, I don't know, Stodell, Jesus Christ, Tiffany Beans, Jen Langen Bachrath, Kat Plowski, Nicole Sonsberger, Sarah Ellis, Mary, she's a Catholic in the South, James. Beatrice Sinnermain, Paulie Beals, Christina with no last name, Margie Patterson, Christy, Wedham, Kale G, Trish Katz Collins, Mary 5C4L Mariskow, is that what that is? Danielle Abercrombie, Nick Porter, Sean Martin, Brianna Barrett, Brianna, Tyler Simonton, Emma Rader, Sophie Hyungs, Chris Nayum, Shaitana, I don't know, Cheryl Walton, Craven Bose, Blue Moon, Jason Forbes, Angie Ball, William Raymond, Joe Yu, Julia Johnson, Blair Scott, Daniel Sepulveda, Kelly Gillingham, Adam Metzger, probably. Timothy Everett, Joe Mendoza, Tegan, Alex, and 3-month-old Heath. All 3 of them. Jesus.
Wow.
Christopher Reyes, Mohammed Mafaris Sultan, Emma Lee Main, Ali, Fanjoy, Samuel Gucci Ardo, Nate Nussbaum, Jenny Ferguson, Stephanie Baker, Ashley Blake, Richard Roberts, Laura Guerrero, Andrew Brown, Christopher, just Chris Noonan, Zachary Kinovsky, Dalton Gilmore, Sienna Johnson, Brett Davis, Trent Orr, Gilliam Odom, Elena Bradenberger, Nicholas Oliver, Darius Thompson. I'm doing fantastic. Lori Douglas, Old Man Groobies, Marcus Ariano, Shonda Edgerly, Jane Doe, Mike Peace, Jenna Talia. What?
Okay, that's a decent one. I've never heard that one.
Well done. I'm impressed with that one. Christy Mathis, Shannon Russell, Holly Coleman, Shelby Pike, Trisha Galugilis, Karen Smith, Brandon Baxter, Samantha Hall, Tina Jenkins, Marisha Beaudoin, Brenna Segal, Grace with no last name, Richard Cruz Blanco, almost called him Richard, Amber Harmon. It's all about the Mets, James. Love the Mets. All right, Mets, let's get a home run, baby. That's what somebody wanted me to say.
All right,
Laura Correa, he still hasn't asked. Laura's boyfriend, fucking figure it out. Lisa
Get it
Ann,
together.
Joe and Alice Mullen, Megan Rodriguez, The One, Susan Lafayette, Gavin Meyer, Eric Bernard, Martha Shakalaka, Tal Jard, Cheyenne Thomas, Amanda Frazee, Daniel Diaz, Vernell Parker, C. Trott, Megan Rivers, Alyssa Sampson, Adam Papineau, Bailey Schultz, Daniel Peters, Mark Poirier, James Largent, Casey Yazdani, Eilish, Lynch.
You all right?
I don't know. Brian with no last name, Andy Ray, Josh Elder, Allison with no last name, Beth Jones, Mandy Oglesby, Dana Owens, Jimmy Dykes, probably. I think that's right. Kat Patterat, Denise Darsh, Kristen Middlestedt, Tara Guthrie, Michelle Jett, Colby Barnes, Tyrell Howard, Sean Pickled Onion Erskine. Joel is a dingus whore. I don't know if you know that, James, but
bastard,
he is.
I do now.
Joelle, maybe. Emily Kirby, happy birthday. And Mavie got engaged. Congratulations. I think it's Mavie. It could be Mavie, Maeve, Mavie.
Congratulations, Mavie.
And all of our patrons, you guys are fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for always being there for us and always coming through for us. And we hope we come through for you. That's all we can do. Thank you for everything. If you want to get a hold of us, very easy to do it, us individually, that is. Yeah. You can look up the show. That's easy. Small Town Murder Podcast hosts. That's it.
Right
or
there. Go find it.
Go to shutupandgivememurder.com. There's links to it.
Shit.
It's even easier. Links right there. And get your coloring book while you're there, too. Yeah. Holy shit. We've had a crazy time. Finally got Diego going and out of the way. Very requested for 6 years, and now it's there.
Listen, I don't have time for his shit anymore.
We're done with you, Diego. That says... live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.